Hello and welcome to the show. Hey, everybody, how's it going? Please let us know if you can hear us. Welcome to episode 300. Well, we've actually technically done
Woo!
a lot more content than that, but officially,
Yeah,
this is episode
of-
300.
officially 300. It's actually more than that.
Right. And we
This
couldn't,
is
I don't even,
Sparta.
it's funny because I titled the episode, How Did We Get Here? But I meant like the current situation in the world, but people were commenting as if, like, how did we get to episode 300? Which I still don't know how we did, but
Yeah.
it wasn't meant to be that. So let me just, do you guys show that we're live? Just,
Uh,
it says, I see we're live, but it still looks like it's,
There's like a 30-second delay on
right.
it.
I know. It just confuses me because I don't want to get too far into it if we're not, if it actually hasn't, uh, you
Yeah,
know.
we're
Okay. We're
we're
good.
live. It's showing.
Perfect. Perfect. So yeah, we're just gonna go over some current events and we're gonna take, if you guys have any questions, we're gonna take questions from the audience tonight. We're gonna talk about our upcoming conference, which is just right around the corner. And by the way, I'll announce this a few times tonight, but we have a 10% off discount for the conference live stream and 4-day pass tonight. Those links are below in the description. Just click the link and it will automatically deduct 10% off of your ticket. And I know it's a little last minute to try and make it in person, but if you can't make it in person, take advantage of the live stream pass. It does come with a 6-month replay, and you can ask questions during the event if the presenter takes questions. And anything else about the conference? I mean, it's literally here, like something days away. Aaron, anything to
Yeah.
say about that?
I'm just super excited.
Right.
Can't believe it's already almost here. And I can't believe I have my book coming out
Oh, that's
finally.
right.
In
Yeah,
literally
Aaron.
4 days.
Aaron has a new book coming out in 4 days called "These Awakenings Are Making Me Thirsty." No,
Yes, that is the official title.
that's an inside Seinfeld joke. Um,
It's called These Awakenings Are Making Me Thirsty.
right. No. So, what's the name of your book? Tell us about it.
It's called Waking to the Infinite Universe. And it's about, I mean, to put it in a nutshell, it's about that. It's about basically just disclosure in general, disclosure of everything, which is a lot more than what, most of the time when people talk about disclosure, they're either talking about UFOs and ETs, just the fact that they're real and they're here. It's like, okay, we know, I mean, we say we know that. Obviously, not everyone knows that, but or they mean disclosure of all the conspiracy hidden, stuff. Yeah, that's part of it, but it's a lot more than that. And I kind of just go over, disclosure is also disclosure of like we are the disclosure. It's us waking up to our own abilities, who we really are, what the nature of reality really is. That's disclosure. And that only comes through us. It's not going to come from an outside source or an outside authority. So there's no point in waiting for disclosure or fighting for disclosure. It's like, no, you have to be the disclosure. So that's what it's about, humanity waking up to be the
And
disclosure, but it also covers all the information in all of those areas. So it's quite like I thought I bit off more than I could chew, to be honest, when I first started writing it, because I did a 6-week Jackie Kenner's 6-week book course, and I was like, there's no way I'm going to be able to, I kept thinking I was going to have to like not do the book I really wanted to do, but then I ended up somehow doing it, and
yeah,
here we
perfect.
are. So
And Aaron asked me to write the forward, so I wrote my first
ooh,
forward
yeah,
for a book ever. Clear, concise, short. It's not too long. Sometimes you read a forward and it's like 5 or 6 pages. I'm like, no, we're not going to do
yeah,
that.
short and
Just keep,
sweet and
just get to the
powerful.
point. Right.
Yeah.
It said, read this book. Aaron is my friend. The end.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly. Short and sweet.
So one more announcement and then we'll get to foil. Um, Hopewell Farm CBD, guys, as you know, Hopewell Farm CBD is one of our affiliates and they have amazing CBD products. All the products are grown with intention, they're homemade, and they have some amazing topical ointment. Their CBD oil I use myself, but I use it all the time for my dog who has seizures, and it's the best. by far beyond any of the other CBDs I've tried. They have a 420 sale. So from now until April 30th, you get 20% off all their products, which is a big deal for some of the products because they are a little pricey, but you get what you pay for. And that promo code is JTT420, and that link is below in the description. So take advantage of that sale before April 30th if you're looking for some new CBD. And what else? What else? We talked about Aaron's book, April 22nd. April 22nd. Look out for that. So it's going to be on Amazon, right?
Yeah, yeah. For now, it'll be on Amazon. Will be the only place online that you can buy it. I'm gonna try to have some physical copies available at the conference. Um, I don't. I'm gonna try to get as many as I can. I don't think my author's copies are gonna arrive in time for the conference, so I'm gonna have to physically buy my own book from Amazon to have anything physically at the conference. So I'm gonna buy as many as I possibly can, and but they're gonna be very limited at the conference. So if you're gonna be there, just know, like, I guess don't wait to pick one up if you want one there,
Yeah,
because they'll probably
awesome.
go quick. But yeah, it'll be available on Amazon
Great.
on the 22nd in 4 days is the release date. So
Perfect.
be on the lookout.
And for everyone who's just coming in the link in the description below, we have two links for tickets for our conference. There's 10% off the live stream passes and the 4-day passes. And that's just kind of like a flash sale. So take advantage of that while you're watching this show. If you haven't bought a ticket yet, you can save 10% below. All you do is click the link and buy your ticket through the link, and the 10% is already deducted. Now, let's get to our guest. We are joined once again by Loyal to the Foil, and we are so excited to have her back because she's always on top of the current events and everything going on, and she always brings something to the table, and it's just we just decided it's long overdue. So welcome back.
Well, I am happy to be here as always, sir. You guys have so much going on. I'm so excited but you guys are like that whole self-actualization pyramid thing. I think you guys are pretty self-actualized. Like you writing books, doing
Oh, thank you.
conferences, traveling all over the place. You guys are always doing something that is awesome. Kudos to you.
Yeah, no,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
I
And
agree. No, I'm just joking.
right,
Thank you though. I
but
yeah,
how have
I
you
can't
been?
bhave we're doing any of this, honestly. And it
Oh, it's
wouldn't have happened
awesome.
without, you know, everyone.
Right.
It
So
is
how have you
awesome.
been, Foil?
I'm good. I'm doing that whole, I work as I work constantly, right? That's pretty much I know people are always, when are you coming back? When are you? I will someday soon, hopefully. I'll be past this whole working 7 days a week thing. And maybe we can start doing shows on my channel again, but I'm here. I'm happy to be here. Chat it
Nice.
up with you guys. A lot of crazy events going on. I send Tyler
Yeah.
wild things all the time, and we just have to kind of table them until I get a chance to come on here with you guys. So I'm
I
happy
have
to
to I have
talk
to
about.
tape I have to table them before I even get a chance to look at them because you send so much. I'm like, I can't do that now.
There's so much crazy in the world. What are we supposed to do,
Well,
right?
It really
you
is.
trap me with TikTok links. So you send me the TikTok link and then you open it up and then once you're in TikTok, it's a whirlwind. It
It's
sucks
it.
you in.
That's it. You're done.
So I'm like, I can't do that now. But so what is coming out right now is a lot of the stuff about the music industry after the P. Diddy thing and our webinar this month on our Patreon, which is only $5 a month to sign up if you're interested. This month's webinar is Illuminati in the music industry, and there's a plethora of information right now. Everybody's talking, everybody's coming forward. There's no shortage. I mean, it's really hard for us to kind of figure out like something what we can bring new to the table, but we are coming up with some really interesting stuff, and we're kind of covering the astral realm side of the Illuminati and what's happening with these rituals, and it's pretty intense what we're discovering. So but this P. Diddy thing and all these people talking, that's one of the big things, obviously. And everything's just coming to the surface. What are your thoughts on that?
Man, when Cat Williams did that interview and he said that this was going to be the year, like he meant this was about to be the year, and he had receipts and names and all of that, and sure enough, it's exactly what he said. Like I don't know. I don't think anybody's surprised by the diddler. Like, I don't think that really took anybody off their game. I think everybody kind of already knew that these people were weird, that something was definitely wrong here, but it is crazy. Um, it is crazy the way they've indoctrinated so many minds and they've just pushed this narrative of this behavior being acceptable or some sort of normalcy surrounding this when it's really just sick people doing sick things. Uh, I'm not willing to accept that. You know,
Right.
I don't listen to any of that stuff.
Right.
Like I used to. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Like I can't even listen to it now. I can't listen to it. I can't watch it. It makes me sick.
Yeah.
Same. Yeah.
Well, we interviewed Leah Ray before the P. Diddy stuff came out, and she's an Akashic
Mhm.
record reader, and she worked in Miami, and she was a bottle service girl in the club scene there years ago, right? And she talked about encountering P. Diddy a number of times, and she said his energy was disgusting. It would make her sick. She couldn't be around him. And somebody she knew, she was like, "Oh, that dude's not even human. He sold his soul." And he's like, and here's why. And he told her, he's like, yeah, I've been on planes with him, and for hours, days, he doesn't sleep. He doesn't sleep. He literally like this, he's not human. And she was telling all kinds of stories about him and her experiences with him and the entities attached to him. And then like the next week, all this stuff comes out. The timing of it was crazy. We didn't know any of that was gonna surface. So it's
Right.
interesting how the universe works. And she didn't either. She was just like, yeah, I don't really get asked about it much, so I guess I'll talk about it. And then boom, it's like here it is.
Right after that episode is when it all
Yeah,
comes out. Right.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. Those people manifest illness in the people around them. Like I can physically feel my vibrations change, even if I just catch it maybe on the radio or if somebody else is listening to it. Like it's repugnant to me at this point, you
right.
know. And then even when you start to look at the interwoven the web that they've weaved, like not just like it's not obviously it's not just the music industry, it's media in general, and then it's branched into politics in general. It's all tied together, like it's all part of this vast curtain of inversion,
Right.
like just inversion of everything that we used to consider morally acceptable. Like, I mean, even and then they're going for kids. Like I don't know the whole like that Justin with Justin Bieber recently, that song he released where he was like saying but not saying.
Mm.
Who's that? The Nickelodeon stuff. Who's that Nickelodeon kid
Oh,
star?
oh my gosh.
Weird name.
They did the whole the whole Netflix thing on
Yeah,
him.
the
Yeah,
Netflix.
what's his name? Jeez, I'm terrible. But anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
Just it's
Yeah.
crazy.
It's well, it's an anti-life system, and people call it satanic and Luciferian, and yeah, you can call it those terms, but what that really means, what those terms mean, really is anti-life. It's anti um organic life or God or source or whatever term you want to call it. It's like a rebellion against that. So what they do is they invert, like you said, inversion. They invert everything.
Drake Bell.
So what's that?
Drake Bell is the name of that kid, by the
Drake
way.
Bell.
Somebody just
Drake
put it in
Bell.
the chat.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So they do and the entities at the top of the pyramid are not human. This is not a human system. Okay. It's like that's why so many people can't comprehend how the vast evil of this, because they can't comprehend it from a human standpoint, because what they don't understand is there's not humans running the show here. It's, you could call them demons, call them whatever, but they're not human.
Well,
And they feed off of this energy that they create through doing all these things.
and
That's why they do them.
right, exactly. And you know what's amazing is on the recent Roseanne Barr podcast with Jim Brewer, they had a whole conversation about how the devil is everywhere and these people aren't humans and they feed off of, they were talking
Yeah.
about everything, including, so I didn't know Jim Brewer and Dave Chappelle were like this before Dave Chappelle went to Africa, but he, it's pretty wild. So if anybody hasn't seen it, actually, I'm just going to read that thing that I sent you, Aaron, because they started talking about clones on the Roseanne podcast. Like,
Yeah,
and,
that's
and
huge.
even
Yeah.
Jim Brewer said, he goes, man, I know my friend. And when he came back, I got a question if that was really him. And then that's when Roseanne brought up clones but he was
Mhm.
apparently visited by somebody. Here, I'll just read it to you really quick because it's actually, if you haven't seen it, it's worth it. Um, so Jim Brewer says that his old friend Dave Chappelle went to him in private and told him about an elite group of people that came to him and sat him down to correct him. And that was right before he suddenly vanished and went to Africa. He says he no longer communicated with him in the same way that he did after he came back. He just kind of at first he was trying to just blow it off. Well, people, just go their own ways, and he said, he wonders when he came back, he wondered what really happened, who visited him. He's curious to hear the names. He came there and this is quote now from Jim Brewer. He said he came there and he was freaked out. He was visited. And when he told me who visited him, my heart stopped for a second. I'll never forget. He went, "You believe me, right? They came to me. He said the names. I said, what happened? And then all of a sudden he went to Africa, but I know for a fact that he was corrected. Um, hey, we need to have a conversation. When I saw him come back, it was like a lot less communication, and maybe he just grows apart, whatever. Maybe I'm crazy for saying this. When I saw him completely come back, I really questioned if that was him." And that's when they went into the whole conversation. But he was blown away when he said somebody visited him, and he wouldn't say who the name was, but he said his heart stopped when that whoever it was. So I don't know, man. It's all coming out.
Yep. Yep. I mean, this is, it's it's amazing that like this is the world now. It's like we have all these crazy things. Things are getting crazier and seemingly worse. But what that's doing is it's further waking up humanity, right? Which is a great thing. And then you have these big shows like Roseanne and Joe Rogan, even, and like all these, even like Tucker Carlson, like all these, the most watched shows like on the planet are talking about the things that used to be like so fringe and like taboo almost, like, or that
Right.
no one either thought would just write off as crazy nonsense, or people just didn't even know about. You just didn't hear about it anyway. Now you have the biggest watch shows talking about clones, talking about the dark system, the control system, talking
Right.
about trafficking, talking about UFOs and ETs, talking about, all this stuff. Like it's all coming out.
Well,
Well,
And
this
it's the
is,
division, right?
yeah.
I mean, it's the separating of the wheat and the tares. It's the
right.
if you're into the law of one, I mean, that
Yeah.
before the harvest, you've got to take away the fruits that are no good before you can gather up the fruits that are useful. So the
Yeah.
Yeah.
crazy people are just going to get crazier.
Yeah.
People that are willing to wake up, because you have to be willing to be awake. They're
Mhm.
gonna wake up, and we're gonna see. I think we're not looking at any sort of unity anytime soon. We're looking at a very deep spiritual divide.
Right.
You're gonna be on one side or the other. Period.
A
Right.
hundred
Right.
percent. 100%.
It's like everyone's being forced to choose not a side. I don't like they're being forced to either move forward in their evolution and go with where the planet's going, or they're gonna be they're gonna go crazy, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
They're going more negative, and then at some point the vibrations of the planet, it's just not going to be hospitable, or you're not going to be able to be on the planet at some point unless you're frequency specific to the
No, it
planet.
becomes
Right.
dissonance.
Right.
It becomes an extreme dissonance in
It's
frequency between the two. Like it's
right.
gonna
So right
continue to
now,
separate itself.
right. So right now it's not high enough to where like you can still have people at a lower level, like they can be here, but they're starting to get agitated. They're starting to
Hmm.
get agitated and a lot of resistance, and start to go a little crazy because there is this dissonance, like you said, between their frequency and the frequency of the planet,
Right.
and to the information that's coming out, and especially like, have you ever been around somebody who's at a much, like a very low, very negative vibration, and just you don't say anything, like just you being around them like irritates the shit out of them. It's like
Hmm.
it's the same concept. It's the same exact concept as that. So
Right.
that's
They
what's
don't even.
happening on a mass scale right now.
Yeah, you're threatening their inner demons. But
Right.
let's play this clip real quick just to have a laugh and lighten things up because
Yeah.
Roseanne shared this and she goes, "My favorite moment of any media I've ever done," and this is just hilarious. It's just a short 1 minute thing of Jim Brewer going nuts here.
You know, this train came off the rails again. Whoops! Weird. That's like the 5th in the last 6 months. Yeah, the rivers got poisoned. Isn't that weird?
And now a ship's taking out bridges because they
The power! The power went out. Are there people? All I imagine is donkey
They
ears.
couldn't count the boats because the sewer backed up over there and the
We can't count the votes because there was the there was water started coming out of the main, and it was dangerous, so we couldn't do the votes. Well, wait a minute. I love this one. Well, the ship lost power, and then the black box just went blank.
Oh God, that's hilarious.
So good.
Right? Like, how does that even happen? Truly, with the ship and the black. Like, come on,
It doesn't.
man.
It
Come
doesn't.
on,
That's
man.
how.
You know what's
Unless
crazy? And I started
they
before
make-
Tyler told us we were only allowed to discuss the weather and work prior to the show, just so you guys know, right? We can't have any content related discussions prior to the show.
Yeah, that's
Gotta
a big
say
no-no.
I don't want
Right.
anything wasted.
Right.
Yeah, he's like,
Yeah.
no, save
So
it for the show.
it's funny that they try to gaslight us that this was not a cyber attack. There's no way, right? We're missing the exact moments of information that we need from the data recorder. It's just gone, poof, like magic, right? Just magically steered itself right into the bridge there. But what's
Yeah.
crazy is yesterday I saw an article where Biden and Homeland Security or whatever had issued a warning about cyber attacks now on ports and infrastructure. Like now, right? First, now they'll fact check you to death that was, it was an accident. Like there's no malfeasance here when we clearly see what's going on around us. And then yesterday they come with an article about how they're now issuing a formal proclamation, because Biden loves to do some proclaiming about how we need to be prepared against cyber attacks on our infrastructure, particularly our ports. Like, well, duh, bruh. Like,
Right.
duh.
You know, how many other bridges were hit like within a week?
Within a couple of days. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
crazy.
And like not all of them were taken out. Some of them, like one big ass crane fell, but that doesn't just happen. Either it happens all the time and they all just happen to get filmed, or there's no coincidence, right? It's
Right.
just
Well,
a
I don't think
systematic
maybe
thing.
even if they're not all, maybe some of them, that's what they use to trick us, right? Like some of them may have been accidents, but the ones that weren't seriously weren't. But you
Right.
want us to just believe it's all or nothing. Like it's not all or nothing. We clearly are having trouble with our being cyber attacked by in-state issues. We have foreign nations that have clear problems with us. Like, why just be so dismissive immediately? Like they immediately said that it was not a cyber attack before they were even on the ground to investigate the situation.
Before they accuse, it's
Right.
like they're telling themselves right off the bat.
Right.
Right.
Like, who are you people?
They're just
It's-
making it more obvious because it's like, okay, you suddenly somehow magically know it wasn't a cyber attack. I mean, no.
Well,
It's-
you know what it reminds me of?
They just
Remember,
told you it was a cyber attack.
you know the show Elf,
love
Elf the alien.
Right.
That
Yeah,
reminds
oh,
me
yeah.
of an old episode of Elf. Whenever how he likes to eat cats or whatever.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Well, and then so the family's gone and they have kittens there, and he's like fighting himself not to eat them, and he finally caves and he's getting ready to
Take a
go
bite.
eat him, and the family walks in. He goes, "What cats?"
What cats?
Yeah, like,
Right.
but they didn't catch him doing anything yet. He just
Right.
told on himself. He's like, "What cats?"
And you just
Yeah,
Right.
right. What cyber attack?
yeah. What
Right.
cyber attack?
Oh,
Oh,
what?
goofy.
Right.
Right.
It definitely wasn't a cyber attack. Like,
Like
okay.
we hadn't even finished typing up
It
the
definitely was a
conspiracy
cyber
theories yet, and you guys are out there trying to debunk the theories. Like,
Right,
calm down.
right, exactly.
Well,
We
we had
weren't even done typing.
Hey,
Like, breathe,
it's
bro.
so great because it's so obvious to know what the truth is these days because they make it so obvious.
So obvious.
They make it so obvious. Like whatever they go hard on, that's the truth of what
Right, to those that are willing to listen, because it
Right.
kills me how something can be so obvious, but there can be so many people that just hook, line, and sinker continue
Right.
to buy the narrative that's being pushed. Just no question in their heart, or nothing even tickles their
Well-
soul a little bit that this might be
well-
some shenanigans.
Right, and I think there's deeper like spiritual and psychological reasons for why so many, their whole so many people, their whole identity is so deeply attached to their like false matrix, the false matrix. Like their identity is attached to it, and especially with politics and all that stuff gets, and so like those people have to believe everything the media tells them, the government tells them, if it's the right people in the government, they have to because their identity is attached to it. There's so much fear, so they're in denial. Basically, it's a form of like extreme denial. So like, there's going to be all those people that like, no matter how obvious it gets, Tyler and I, we talk about this all the time in terms of like disclosure, or like, let's say like ETs, they could be walking around. And the people that don't want to believe it will just say it's holograms or it's whatever the media tells them it is. They'll believe that over literally like walking outside and going and talking to one and realizing it's real.
right.
Like I think it's that extreme where it's like that level where no matter what happens, they will just believe whatever the media
Well,
tells
it's just
them happened.
everyone's at where they're supposed to be. But going back to
Right,
the
right.
conversation,
But it just shows you like the level so many people are at where like nothing's going to wake them up the people that are already awake, I think, are the people that are awake at this point, pretty much.
well, it will when it gets personal. But I think you're right about the bridge thing. As far as all the boats hitting the bridges like within a couple days, I think what their thought process is to let's show them some real crashes, and just like it's almost like they try to trick you and confuse you. You're right. I never really thought about that. It's like they try to make you think like, oh, see, it's not just one isolated false flag attack. It happens over here and over here too. But they just, telling themselves it's
They
kind
do
of
that with
fun.
everything.
Right,
So,
but it's to me that's so obvious. It's like, how can people
right.
not
Yeah,
see
yeah.
it?
And then
It's
the
so obvious.
dynamite, what looked like potential dynamite, and the bridge being just wiped out.
Right,
So it's a whole 9/11 again, watch the water.
right.
So Foil, you flipped out on a couple like a weeks ago, a month ago, about this pedo island, right? This island you came across,
What?
and
Why are there so many weirdo islands? I don't understand it. Like it's apparently them people think it's just the thing to do. Yeah, Kiribati. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Well, they're
Um,
isolated.
well, here, you
Fair
want me to play
enough.
that video?
Islands.
Do you want me
Yeah,
to play that video first?
Go ahead. You might want to put the speed up to like 1.25 or whatever because she talks kind of slow. But it's a crazy rabbit hole. Aaron, this is probably new to you. I don't know if Tyler.
I might have shared it with him.
I don't know. I'll find out when I see it.
Find out here in a second.
I'll find out.
All right, let me turn the speed up. I'm gonna get it all set up so when I share, then we'll be ready to go. Okay. Yeah, we'll watch this and then we'll discuss it.
Pretty sure I'm the only one on this entire planet that has discovered this. Last year, I went down a rabbit hole, if you would, about this country, island, Kiribati. And I know I'm not saying that right, but all the reviews on the island are weird. Like, actually so strange, and some of them are scary. I'll get to that later on in the video, but these ones are just strange. They're all talking about Alberto and his white rabbit who's angry and steals all your money. And these are reviews for an airport, mind you. There are no pictures of this airport, but there are 77 reviews, and they're all talking about this white rabbit, and they're all going into detail. I first discovered this last year, and since then they've added a new character. Now they're all talking about this person named Carlisle. They added him into the mix, but please pause and read these. These are genuinely the weirdest things ever. And at first I thought that somebody just made a video on YouTube and told all their subscribers to go troll this island with strange reviews, like some weird inside joke or something. But if that were the case, they would all be at once. And these go on for years and years and years. So people are consistently adding new reviews every single month. And they're all in excruciating detail about Alberto and his white rabbit. I don't know what this means. They're obviously speaking in code. Like, it's so strange. If it were just this instance, I would genuinely just think it's some inside joke that I don't know about. But I kept on exploring this island, and it actually starts to get scary, like Epstein coded, creepy, if you know type scary. But okay, we zoom out a little bit, and then we go to this next island in Kiribati. There's so many islands that make up this country. Anyway, we find this place called Tony's Takeaway, and there's no actual pictures of it, and people are going in detail about how hot and amazing Tony is. Not even about the food, just like how amazing Tony is. I don't know. And then there's weird pictures, and I'm just like, okay, at this point, it still could be just trolling. I don't know. But where it gets alarming is when we get to this church. It looks normal at first, but we are immediately greeted by this review. And it reads, I came here to wash away all my sins, but I had a good time with the nuns. I could not absolve myself of my sins, and even added more. But I'm very pleased with the service. 5 stars. Okay. And then all the reviews are so offbeat. They're all talking about hot dogs and this dude named Bob. If you know what hot dogs are code for, I can't explain to you if you don't know, but it's really disgusting. This one says, hot dogs are not my strong suit, but these ones are different. Bob had a secret sauce. I suspect it was the same thing that he used to moisten the back rub. That one said Bob spontaneously combusted, and they all have so many thumbs up. That one just said Mr. Beast was there and he loves hot dogs and Bob's back rubs. This one literally says, I was blown away by the sheer amount of hot dogs. Mind you, these are all reviews for a Roman Catholic church in the middle of the South Pacific. I'm not sure what shark is a code for, but clearly something, because half of those reviews had some mention of shark meat in the hot dogs. And then there's another church, and this review says that it has everything you need in it. A cross, pictures of inhumane torture, and alcohol. I don't know what you guys think is going on here, because I'm lost.
Yeah, so if you guys could keep up with that, that's all pedo code talk. I mean, all of it.
Yeah, it's all well-known code talk for that stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
So the crazy thing is, since I sent you all that stuff, they have now gone in and scrubbed reviews on all of these places. St.
Yep.
Stanislaus Church, the Aeropuerto, what is it? Aerodrome de Taboran, and that Bob's Takeout place. But of course, Reddit, who will archive any and everything, still has from years ago posts on this, and like some of them are crazy. Like, on my way from Paris to Poland, I decided to stop by this famous establishment. Hot dogs are not my strong suit, but these ones were different. Bob has a secret sauce. It's the same one he uses to moisten the back rub. It will blow you away. Worth a quick stop. And another one. Hot dog strange is very hot dog smell is very strange, but quite better once a big, cold, juicy hot dog is on your plate. Bob is a great dude, but he gets bored from massaging quick. The Shark Priest is epic and friendly. I attended the 27th Holy Ghost Weenie Roast and had a blast. Like, just weird from years ago. And it's not like they all happened, like she said, at the same time. Like, if you look, they weren't all like posted within a month. These are over the course 7 years ago, 6 years ago, 5 years ago, 4 years ago. And then they went in and scrubbed.
It's not like one or two reviews. It's not like one or two reviews that are talking. It's every single one. And there's like so many. It's every single one.
And it's like, okay, well, you have to think about this critically, right? Why would they even leave a review unless they're comms, right? They're talking to other people who are visiting the island, and I think at one point they just assumed that they were getting away with everything, and no one would ever catch on to this, right?
Arrogance. So, yeah. Oh yeah, we can just do this in plain sight. No one's
like it almost becomes a game to them.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So the Albert and the White Rabbit thing had me going for a minute. I was like, what is that? So after we talked about it, whatever that was, last month or whatever, I started looking and I found this video. I think it's still up on YouTube, about these weird, like MK Ultra-esque mind control experiments. And one of them focused on this kid named Albert, and they used this white rabbit to like terrify him and to put this like emotional subcoding into his brain. It just weird stuff all the way around if you start digging into it.
Well, and White Rabbit, adrenochrome, there's
that, of course.
Right, there's that tie. So I think there was a whole bunch of stuff he dug up on it back at that time. It was just like one thing after the next. And basically, long story short, is it's just another Epstein Island, right? It's another, and
So
how many?
Kiribati is a nation of like I think 33 islands, but there are only 20 inhabited islands. But of those 20 inhabited islands, at least 3 of them have these places that are tagged with these super weird reviews. What happens on
Right.
the uninhabited islands?
Right.
You know,
Or half of the islands that we don't even know about on this planet. But the thing is like Epstein, like we all know what happened there. There's the client list is still, nobody knows who's on the list, and we all know the story, right? So that's just one little like look here, not there. It's just it's so vast,
Right.
and but the
Everyone thinks there's
reason,
only one island, and there's like probably hundreds,
right?
or
People are like, oh, phew, okay, good, they saved us.
100.
They took out the bad guy, and the island
mhm.
is, the children are saved, and that's just, they're all sitting there with their feet kicked up on their desks, smoking a cigar, laughing at us online. Um, but hopefully not, because I feel like the reason people like her are finding the, how are people even led to this information now? I definitely think it's like divinely guided. And
Yeah.
I know that's how it is when we start researching for our webinars. There's some
Mhm.
things that I come across. I'm like, I can even see the string of events that happened to led me to that piece of information. And it's beautiful to get that type of assistance. So I think that we have help. Like you just have to be open to it. And if you're guided to look at something and share something, then I feel like, you should.
It's crazy stuff, man.
Absolutely.
I mean, and then I wonder, like, are there really like I in any case used to look at the world and tend to think that like truly mentally sick people were like just a small subset. When it's becoming more clear to me that this is a far greater problem than
Yeah. Well,
anybody really had given credence
well,
to.
right. And then, like the scale of when you uncover the scale and the vast, like it's only able to thrive like that because the people running all of our institutions on the planet are these insanely evil, sick people. And they have built out their whole web
They all
of
have each other's
their
backs.
system. Right, right. And it gets into, the secret society. They're embedded in the secret societies. They have their own little cults. Their cult beliefs that they truly believe. And they truly like, and when you realize all that stuff, it's like, wow. And this goes back thousands of years. Like, it is not nothing new. It's coming to light now. So it seems like, oh, all this stuff has just happened. No, 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 no. This has been going on for
Right.
thousands of years, guys.
Well, but it
Thousands.
is like hitting the surface though. It was happening behind the scenes now. So
Well,
it
that's what I'm
is
saying. It's
all
coming to light now, but that's why
right,
so many people think it's, oh, this all just happened in the last few decades. Like, no, it's just come to light
right,
today.
right. But yeah,
We're
it's
waking up to
no,
it.
like even on that Roseanne podcast with Jim Brewer, he goes, I just find it hard to believe that, people don't realize, they don't believe the boogeyman actually exists and the devil is everywhere. And
Right.
Right.
they have that whole conversation. And my favorite part about the whole thing, he goes, I think it's game time. It's game on. He goes, we're at a time now where if you see the pedophile, you see them, stand up and call them out. We have to start pointing fingers. It's not, we can't sit
Right.
back in the shadows anymore. And that's why I have like, I just feel like we need like some type of actual revolution here, you know? And
Right.
Well,
it's
we
just
just need to wake up. The
right.
only the only the only reason they've been able to get away with this for so long is because they've done a really good job of keeping basically all of humanity sound asleep for a long time. And now, because of many things, the vibrations of the planet increasing, the internet,
Yeah,
like
we
the
have the
internet is
tools now.
massive. We have
We
tools
have the
now to
tools
get
now.
on a mass scale, get this information out. Like before the internet, you realize how much harder it was to get this type of information
Bro,
without
right?
it being censored, like somehow get it out on a mass level
Well,
without the internet.
it was easier for them to silence people too.
Right.
Yeah, and to
Because they can
pigeonhole you and make you sound like you're crazy. You
think about
didn't
it.
know that there were so many other people
Think
that
about
felt
it.
the same way you did.
Right. Before the internet, they controlled TV, radio, magazines, newspapers. What else is,
Any stream
they
of information.
mainstream. Yeah. So like you had these underground, people giving VHS tapes and, uh, like little things like that, and tapes and things and CDs 1 second, but like before the internet, it was way harder to get the stuff out on any kind of mass level. They did conferences and stuff like that, but like, how do you find out about it's like the internet just like connected the whole world in a way that just, and it hasn't been done before until we were like telepathic thousands of years ago. It's like, until then, the internet is the first time that we've been all connected in this way, like on the planet, and that information's been able to get shared on this massive level in this way. So
Right.
that is like, so, and that, why do you think they're going so hard in the censoring and they're freaking out so much about it? Because they know that, and they're like, well, they created it as the tool for them, but then it's also, the nature of it is a double-edged sword where you can use it just to spread any kind of information. And they're like, oh shit, we gotta shut it down, we gotta censor. And they knew they could only afford to censor certain things. They can't just censor too much, or it would be, so they went after like the jab, the election stuff, the 17, the things that they're like, we cannot have people waking up to this stuff, because all those things lead you to the rabbit hole of like the truth of what's going on.
Yeah, well, that's why
planet and the
I
system.
think maybe they don't, like, yes, they censor, but I think more often now we see infiltration with disinformation, like bad agents coming in, giving
Well,
information in bad
right.
faith.
Right. They do both.
Well-
Right. They realize you can't just censor. They're like,
Right.
a much more effective way is to infiltrate and then give disinformation and discredit the information through an individual who, like, because of, they set it up to where like, oh, you have this guy who's like the main guy talking about this stuff, and then you discredit the guy, and then everyone throws out the baby with the bathwater. That's what they hope happens, right? So we see that happening over and over.
By the way, guys, if you have any questions for us in the chat, feel free to fire away. We will answer your questions tonight. We can
Yeah,
act like this
absolutely.
is a live Q&A. And if you missed the very beginning, we have 10% off our conference tickets in the description below for the 4-day pass and the live stream pass. You can save 10% tonight by buying a ticket through that link. And if you don't know about our conference, Rebels of Disclosure, May 13th through the 16th in Grafton, Illinois. We hope to see you there. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's our 3rd annual event, and we couldn't be more excited. It's going to be a lot of fun. So, what else were we going to talk about tonight, Foil? I know you mentioned a couple things that you wanted to touch on. What's
Bro,
Kona Blue?
Kona Blue. So this, now I have not completely sussed this all out yet, right? Are you guys, Aaron, are you at all familiar with Kona Blue? Like, so
No.
this is something that the Black Vault has been covering on Twitter a lot recently, and I'm trying to figure it out. But apparently, Kona Blue was like the Department of Homeland Security initiative that they had started under OSAP, but that was the program that was supposed to be protecting like the retrieval and the use of non-human biologics.
Okay.
Right. And there was this document that was decoded or declassified, talking about Kona Blue, and it ties back into, I mean, this goes back, right? This is like back before RO now, even the predecessor to ATIP, all of their programs.
Yeah.
But it was like a special access program funded through earmarks, tied with Bigelow Aerospace. And then Tyler and I were talking about how I saw them also talking about how Bigelow had purchased the MUFON database and then funneled it to this project, to Kona Blue, to the OSAP program, like giving up everybody's personal information, obviously without their consent, although I don't know how much privacy we can really expect this day and age.
Right.
I don't know, any kind of secret project I'm always all ears about. But apparently this is the non-human biologics retrieval program, allegedly.
So they've just, I mean, they basically are just constantly rebranding. So,
Constantly.
one of the reasons they do that is a security issue, because if they change the name of the project, then they can start a new file, right? So then people dig into that project, they're going to find the full history, and they're going to think, oh, it just started on this date, but really,
And it
Yeah,
looks like the project ended when they just changed the name,
right,
something else, and or moved it. Yeah, and
right.
kept going with it. Like
So
MK Ultra, they're like, oh yeah, we did it. It was like 5 years, and then we ended it. And like, you're right.
Well, I mean, so Grush, who has apparently not fulfilled his duties with regards to how he promised to come in for these interviews and
Really.
he gave us all of this explosive information. He did at some point mention this program, and now we've got this document that is actually discussing
Hmm.
possibly an actual program that was doing this. You know,
right.
I still want to know,
Right.
like you can't come with explosive claims and then not
Right. If
come
you're
with the
gonna come out,
receipts,
you got to
bro.
go all the way. You got
Yeah,
to
like
follow
bring
through,
the
especially
receipts,
Well,
man.
at least
right.
share or at least be honest and say, hey, I don't have the receipts,
At
but
least be
this is what I
honest.
saw. Yeah.
Right.
So foil, somebody, okay, we just said we have two questions. One is that could be a long one. So I'm gonna answer Cindy C. Thank you for $10. Thank you very much.
Oh,
Thank you, Cindy.
We'll do Cindy's question and then we'll get to the one right before that. So do you think any changes with the eclipse? I felt energy like it was a massive Reiki session for me. I'll jump in and answer that first. Yes, I felt the same exact way. I was with four people, including Lily Nova, and we went and drove to the Path of Totality, which it was a 2 hour drive, or what should have been a 2 hour drive, took 5 hours to get there and like 5 hours back. I
Holy
drove for
crap.
12 hours that day.
Traffic
Um,
was that backed
it
up.
was it was that backed up. It was like a
Wow.
scene from a movie. Like you ever seen the town evacuating, the cities evacuating in the
Yeah.
movies? That's what it was.
Because
So
everyone in St. Louis was trying to drive to Cape Girardeau
yeah,
or
so
somewhere
from
south.
Cape Girardeau back, we sat in 5.5 hours of like 10 to 20 mile per hour traffic.
Oh my
And
God.
and every exit that you had to stop to get off, like to go to the bathroom or whatever, the line was 30 deep in every gas station, every fast food place.
No, thank you.
Oh, we did it, but
Or you did it. Yeah.
we found one of the super awesome place to view the eclipse, and we didn't wear our glasses. You know, you had to put them on at first to view it, to
Hmm.
like even see what the hell was going
To
on.
see it even. Right. Right.
But as soon as the totality started, we took our glasses off, and none of us used our glasses, and
When it got dark.
we
Right.
stared at it, and then as it came back, that's when we definitely like we left the glasses off, and it was like sun gazing at that point. And as it was coming back,
Mm.
and all of us completely zenned out. It is like a out of body experience. It's just like you could feel it like fundamentally changing you with, from the inside out. And it was amazing. I just, even when I was done looking at it, we all collectively agreed that I felt like our vision was better. It was crazy.
Really.
Like everything was super clear after that. And I'm just like, there's so much fear surrounding. Oh my God, you're gonna burn your eyeballs out. Like, I mean, maybe like you have
Well,
to be careful, but
right. Well, no one, so you guys were in the path of totality. I was not in the path of totality. That's a
right,
big difference because the sun is being fully blocked out when you're in when it's fully over it, Where
right,
I was at, it was like you're looking at the sun normally, and
right.
it would burn your eyes.
Well,
Like
I mean,
I was not in the
it
path
would
of
do
totality.
that every day though.
Right,
It's
right,
it's
right.
not just like the eclipse.
Right, but then people do that when they're not in the path of totality, and then they're like, "Oh, I looked at it, and it's like, yeah, because you weren't, you didn't look at the totality eclipse, you looked at a partial eclipse.
Right.
90, like we
Um,
were like 92% here, I think, or
yeah,
something
I
like that.
think we got like maybe 80 something percent where I'm at.
Okay, we were pretty good. We were like over 90. It was like 92 or something like
what
that.
about you? You foil? Did you have an out of body experience or anything?
But it was,
I had a stuck at my desk working experience. I did sneak out
uh,
there a few times, but no, I did not get to have any kind of spiritual Zen moment at all. I got stuck in front of my computer, of course.
So we'll let foil answer this next question. I can't talk.
well, that
What is your take? Were you gonna say something, Aaron?
I was just saying real quick. I'm just saying I'm really glad we didn't try to drive. It was like it said it was a 3 hour drive to go the path of totality, but if it took you that long, it probably would have taken us like seven
Yeah,
hours to get there
yeah,
at
yeah.
least. You
I
know?
I left at basically we left at 9 in the morning, got back at 9 at night. I mean, that was the day. It was a long day. Um, 12 hours of that was drive time. So, What is your take on who the Elohim really are? Foil, will you have any thoughts on that?
So I'm taking it we don't mean Elohim as a name of God. We mean Elohim, the inhabitants of different spiritual plane.
I think
Um,
that's what they're talking about,
yeah.
probably.
The
So
shining ones is the correct the correct translation of that word. It's a plural word. It gets translated as
right,
God.
like it's a
The
spiritual
Elohim.
assembly,
Yeah.
of beings of different frequency. I
The
mean,
shining one, the plural.
right.
Right.
Somebody was saying a comment on the Elohim was that they can appear as a blue orb. That I don't know about. Feel free to jump in, Aaron.
I mean, I
Uh,
just if you wanted to try and answer it,
well,
you could.
okay. Here's my so there's different opinions on exactly what the Elohim are, but let's just go with look at the word Elohim and what it actually means. So it gets translated as God. That's a complete mistranslation, no matter what you want to believe. It's not. It's not an accurate translation, and that's just one of many in our modern day Bible, and that's a whole other topic. I'm not
Well,
going to get into.
references like a pantheon of small g gods,
Yes.
like
Well,
inhabitants of a spiritual plane, a different, vibrating at a different frequency
right. Well, here's
as
the thing.
energy.
Right.
Right.
So there's so many different words that all get translated as God in the Bibles, particularly in the Old Testament. And many of them are, in my opinion, are like ET, like negative kind of ETs playing God, like Yahweh, Jehovah, all these different ones. And those are the like psychopathic ones you read about where they're like you read what they're doing and what they're demanding of people, and you're like, these are literal genocidal psychopaths. A genocidal psychopath that's supposed to be God. No, it's because it's not God. It's an extraterrestrial playing God because they can do that. But the Elohim in Genesis, when it's talking about, it's saying it gets translated as God, but the word means the shining ones or the mighty ones, the shining ones, depending on who you talk to, that came from the heavens. What does that sound like? Does that sound like extraterrestrials or does that sound like God to you? To me, that sounds like either extraterrestrials or you could say higher dimensional beings that are
I think of them as higher
coming to
dimensional beings.
well, there's
Like,
overlap in those. They could be technically both. You could technically say it's higher dimensional extraterrestrials that are coming to Earth, and they're shining because they're like in their light. They're like a light body being that's glowing
mhm.
because it's not fully like a physical like we are. It's like so that makes sense why the term means the shining ones. Plural, multiple beings, not one singular God, gets translated as God, mistranslation. There's so many of those. But yeah, to me, it just means non-human entities.
Well,
Let's just call it that came to
and
Earth.
then Shotgunner 187 says foil is the shit. So we just throw that in there.
Oh, thanks. Right? Well, Keystone was saying, I'm confused between the Elohim, the Anunnaki, Enlil, and Enki. So Enlil and Enki were supposed to be brothers, right? And they ended up at odds as far as the
One wanted
steering
the
of.
yeah, go
Go,
ahead.
go
Yeah.
ahead.
No, one basically had humanity's best interest in mind and one didn't. In a nutshell, if you
Yeah.
want to simplify it. Well, go ahead. Let Foil finish her thought first.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. They had they had very different ideas on the path that humans were supposed to take. One was really into like genetic modification and like a technological, and that's how I see it today, almost like the battle that we're fighting between the technological and the spiritual. It was almost like a similar divide, correct?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So supposedly the story goes that Enki one was the negative one, right?
Hmm.
Or do I have that backwards? I get
No, I
confused.
think that's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Enki was the one that wanted to keep humanity enslaved
Hmm.
and underneath them and work, doing their dirty work. And Enlil was like saw the potential in humanity and was like, no, they need to be free. Let's let them blossom. And obviously,
Well, according to Carrie Cassidy's book, The Rebel Gene, which talks about it literally, and I don't know where this information comes from aside from her book, but Enlil, I guess there was, they were genetic masters, right? And
Hmm.
genetic
right,
engineers.
master
And
genetics.
so Enlil put in his group what we call the rebel gene, and a gene that would be dormant until one day it would, come alive. It would awaken and activate, and those are the souls that have the awakening. And then there's a percentage of the population that's missing that gene, and that's why some people just don't get it. And that's kind of the what I read in her book, and I'm not
Yeah.
sure where that information comes from, but it potentially
That's
could make
good.
sense.
Yeah, I like that, but at the same time, I don't like that she's only talking because genes are only on a physical level, but we're not, our true self is spirit. It's not physical. So like, you talk about like star seeds, for example. So I think a lot of souls are like, I call them earth-based souls, who they've only had incarnations on this planet. So that's all their experiences are, totality of just like
I see what you're
incarnations
saying,
on
though.
Earth, right?
Yeah.
Whereas like us starseed, I mean, I think I'm one where I think I've had many incarnations of many different planes and planets and different races, and then I think I'm here now. I don't know how many. I honestly don't know if this is my first or if I've had a few other incarnations on Earth, but I don't think I've had that many. And I think that it doesn't, I don't know, maybe you could say, well, those types of souls can only inhabit bodies that have those genes or certain DNA, maybe. But
Well, it
ultimately I
would,
feel like that's the main factor of like how quickly you awaken or to
right.
what level is like your soul level.
I think they do definitely have the technology, ability, capability, whatever word you want to use, to steer souls into certain bodies, right? And certain families and bloodlines, lineage, whatever. So they could
Mhm.
potentially keep certain souls in that bloodline that, let's say, doesn't have the rebel gene. And
Mhm.
who knows? And we get into the NPCs and the pod people from the
Yeah.
the Tartaria stuff. I mean,
Right.
there's and who even knows who's who, what's what anymore?
Well, right, in the
Silicon.
reptilian DNA, like
Yeah.
supposedly the Cabal families have more reptilian DNA than the rest of us, and that's why the reptilian souls are able to like control them way easier or inhabit their
Them
bodies way
lizards,
easier.
man.
Well, and
David Icke talks all about that,
so the James Caspel and Max Spears used to talk about that, they're Bush bloodline, and they were out as whistleblowers, and Max was
Mhm.
killed and James was thrown in prison, and that it's illegal for him to even talk to anyone in the US now, because those
Yeah.
two guys, I think, were some of the most credible, and they would always, a number of times, a number of interviews, when they were asked about the Anunnaki and I guess the Sumerians, the Anunnaki, they said
Mhm.
they never left. That's the psyop. They never left. They've been here, and they said they're here and walking around in human
They
form.
right, they just went into like a form of
Yeah.
hiding.
But he said, but James said that some of them are on the surface in human bodies now. Like their souls
Mhm.
in a human body, and like they live hundreds of years, but nobody knows any difference. They changed their identity. And he
Yeah.
said one in particular was like living in New York City that he knew of, like, and it's a crazy testimony, but he very clearly said that Enki in their eyes is Lucifer, and they all, like, their family, their rituals, everything they did growing up from when they were kids, they were in those circles, and they all worshipped Enki, aka Lucifer.
That
And
explains why they worship Lucifer,
right,
because Denki, right?
yeah, and there's a whole other side of the community that's trying to say Enki is our savior and he's coming back to save us. Well, I think that's a psyop. I'm more, I'm I'll believe Max and James over Chandler. They were like firsthand
Right.
information, and
Right.
they were like matter of factly like, no, that's the thing. They never left. There is no return. That's the trick. Um, they've always been here. So I don't know.
I saw somebody saying, where'd it go? And they're supposedly Anunnaki, 96 Aggie. So they're Sumerian gods, and the Sumerian pantheon of gods is also sometimes referred to as the Anunnaki. That's where the Anunnaki legend comes from, the like ancient Sumeria and the writings that were found in that area.
Right. Sorry,
Right.
if I was just reading the comment at the same time you said that. So I kind
Right.
of missed what you just said. I
That's all right.
apologize.
I was just looking to see if anybody had asked any other question. I saw somebody saying our opinions. Do we think that where so many islands are disgusting places, how will they ever catch anyone who's been involved or visited? Will they, or will karma handle things? I don't know that I think that they'll ever get them all. I think it's like I don't know. Like I tend to think of evil almost like a virus, and it spreads. It's
Well,
got
yeah.
a period in the system, and it grows. Like if you're overly exposed to it, like it's a soul corrupting thing.
You can't
You know.
kill evil. You can't
Right.
kill consciousness. So see, people need to expand their minds on this stuff. A lot of people, they're thinking in this small box of like, we got to fight the bad guys and kill the bad guys and arrest and everything will be better. Like, no, that's not what's going on here, guys. You got to
We've
zoom
got to
out, expand
grow
your
the light,
consciousness.
grow the people that are receptive to
Now,
goodness and
right.
Right.
So, well, here's the thing. Like the way you, or you could say the way you kill, in quotes, evil is by shining a light on it, which is what is happening right now. People are waking up. They're not, I mean, there's a lot of people asleep, don't get me wrong still, but like more than ever before in a long time, like this stuff is coming to light. People are waking up. We're the ones with all the power here, guys. Here's the thing. A lot of this talk, and like especially in the truth, it's like people talk as if we have no power and we're just like at the whims of what's happening and the authorities and the systems. Oh my God, what can we do? We just gotta scream and try to fight it and shout. No. That's what they want you to think. That is a part of their psyop. They want you to think you have no power and you just gotta spend all your energy fighting and getting all upset and screaming about this stuff. Like you're actually feeding into the very things you think you're fighting, and you're actually reaffirming that you have no power and you're giving it away to the very people you
Right.
don't want to be giving your power to. You don't want to give your power to anyone.
So
You need to take your power back, and that's what humanity, in my opinion, it's what's happening. The universe is forcing it to happen right now because the time on the planet that we're in right now is we're at the end of a cycle where like the planet, the humanity itself and the planet is either going to bloom, and it's called ascension, whatever term you want to call it, the golden age, or it's going to destruct, it's going to blow up, and it's going to go all, it's either going to completely, we're going to destroy ourselves, or the slave system's going to win. I don't think that's happening. I think the universe is doing everything it's doing to make sure we wake up, and to make sure the ones of us that are meant to wake up do, and everything gets exposed. Because first what has to happen is all the darkness that's been here has to be exposed. It has to come so we can see it
Aaron,
and deal with it, right? So that's what's happening right now.
all
And we
right.
have all the power. So once we do that, we take our power back, and then we create a reality that we actually want rather than giving it away, which
I
is what we've
think
been doing.
positivity, like the light, the positive energy, I think is self-propagating. So the more you resonate, the more you put out, and the more other it's just going to naturally self-propagate onto
Yeah.
the people and the things and the situation surrounding you.
Be
You
the
just
change you want to see.
vibrate, yeah.
Right.
And it's all
It-
it's all vibration. You just raise above it, and it pops like it can't exist.
System needs us more than we don't, the
Right.
system needs us. So if we
So
stop feeding into that system, it's going to go away on its own. We don't have to fight it. It's going to
so
become
there's
obsolete. It's already obsolete.
a couple other questions. James Casbolt went to prison. I had no idea. Yeah, I mean he did years ago, but he's out now. Um, question. So, oh, this is Keystone. Hey, how's it going, Keystone? Um, is the is this then the same as the Cain and Abel story, or just different names? Talking about Enlil and Enki.
I've seen correlations drawn between that, also between who was it in the Egyptian pantheon? Osiris and Isis? No, who killed Osiris and chopped him into bits?
I used to know this,
Anybody,
but I
somebody,
don't know.
right?
Um,
There are, but we see that with a lot of things, right? Parallels where stories take elements of
Seth.
yeah, maybe, yeah, okay. They
Seth,
take
yeah, okay.
elements from other, and then they integrate it into their own, or at that time oral tradition, which eventually became a written tradition, and then we see it again change into something that's carried into another culture. And that's why we find so many parallels between creation myths, flood stories, whatever. Like, I mean, because it's probably based on something that actually occurred, and then it's taken and picked up and brought into the oral tradition of a culture, changed a little bit to fit the narrative of that particular worldview of that culture, and then passed on again and passed on again. And so we get these parallels that run between storylines in places that seem so disparate.
Right. Exactly.
Right. Right.
What else? Somebody just said here. Is Foil going to be at Rebels? Unfortunately, no. I mean,
One of these years,
Yeah. One of
every
these.
year she says next year until it
I
comes, and she's like
swear.
next year.
I swear, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I will. I know. I always end up with some horrific work project. Like, but at some point, I'm just going to take PTO and go.
Yeah, you should. You have to.
You
Next
should.
year, you have to. It's
I
just
promise.
take PTO now. Or just fake your death and come and
There's
then
always that, right?
right,
There's
yeah.
always that.
Just start a whole new life somewhere else. It's
I could
fine.
do that. I could totally do that. That would be
Right.
fine.
Just pull a George Costanza and quit your and then go back and pretend like you were just joking.
Right?
Right.
Like, what are you talking about? Oh, I
Yeah, yeah.
didn't really mean it.
Well,
Right?
that's
Like-
what Peter does on Family Guy long ass time ago. He's like, hey, Mr. Peter Smith. He goes, I died in a terrible plane crash and I won't be in the work today. And if you don't believe that, I'll see you tomorrow. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you don't believe that, I'll see you on Monday.
yeah,
There
see
you
you on
go.
Monday, whatever. Yeah. Do you and Foil still have those quiz question shows? No,
Oh,
no, we don't. I mean, we'll probably do a few more, peppered throughout in the future, but
I
definitely
think the last one we did was like 3 months ago.
right.
It's up. They're all up on my channel if you want to go watch them. There's a ton of good information in there.
We might do a couple trivia questions at the end of this if Foil has any for
I
us.
do.
All right, we'll do that. We'll go through a couple more questions and a few other things. So somebody said, so Billy Carson is way off then. I don't know what you're referring to as far as that goes.
I think they're referring to the Enki and Enlil stuff because I
Oh,
think he
okay.
does the opposite. Well, that's
Well,
the
that-
like Zechariah Sitchin version of the story is I think the opposite of that. And
Yes,
so there's people
that's
that believe
the
that, and then there's people
that's
that
the misinformation, and that's also what Max and James said. They said Zechariah Stitchem was a paid informant, and he was given
Right.
into like it's misinfo, like it
it's
large
disinfo. It's intentional,
disinfo. Yeah, exactly.
which is intentional misinfo, right?
Right. Yeah. So, and there's a number of people that actually have information on that, So
Mm-hmm.
that's just the thing. And whenever ate mushrooms, I saw Enki, and he identified himself as Lucifer. And
Right.
I went straight to the hell realms. I like OD'd on mushrooms, like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, and I went on that hero's journey, but I went straight to the hell realms first, and I was encountered by or welcomed by Cerberus, the three-headed dog
Oh, dear
that guards the
God.
gates of hells. And it was like a very caverny like realm, right? The caves. It's kind of like what
Like what you would imagine,
you would imagine.
what they yeah.
And Enki was more of a presence. I couldn't see like a physical face. It was more of a presence that I was interacting with. I could tell like there was no very clear face for it. And he's like, "Yeah, I'm Enki, but you might know me as Lucifer." And I'm like, "Oh, it was a crazy thing." And I don't know why, but they gave me a tour of like he kind of gave me the rundown on how they run the show here, and he showed me like he took me on this like astral body tour and showed me that literally every single person is infested with parasites unless you've done like intense parasite cleanses. And then he zoomed in on the politicians and showed through their skin, and it was just like worms, and then like a parasitic consciousness taking over, and like it was just everything was parasites. That's how they run the show here.
Yeah,
And
absolutely. Nailed it.
and
Yeah.
Stargate SG-1 was
Disclosure.
disclosure of that.
Yep.
And then I went from there. It was a long trip, but I went to like through the Ascended Master realms all the way up, and I ended up at what we would consider Source. And when I was up there, it was very clear that no one was. It was like this like this empty room, almost like where not many people played. That's the feeling I get. Like not many people were up here, but it was very apparent that I was like my frequency was raising, the feelings were getting better, and then I was there at this pure white light source. It didn't identify itself as source, but I knew it was. But when I was in this room and there was a little boy in a fetal position, like balled up on the floor crying. And I'm like, I ran over to him, like, oh my God, are you okay? Are you okay? And it was like Source using this little boy as an avatar to speak to me. And I'm like, what's wrong? And I'm like basically on my knees, like holding on to this little kid. And he's like, this isn't what I meant to create. I didn't mean this. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, this isn't what I meant to do. This isn't what I meant to create. And I said, I said, like, I don't remember exactly, but I was like, what do you mean? Can you explain? So he said, so many people are asking me for forgiveness, but nobody is forgiving me for what I created. And it was just this crazy like thing. And I was like, oh man, it's okay, buddy. It's a little kid. I'm holding him. I was like, I forgive you. And I'm like showing him all this love. And then he just like disappeared. And I just got like bombarded with this complete bliss hit of like love and like just source energy. It was amazing.
You know
But
what?
it was profound.
Yeah.
It
To
sounds like it.
me, to me, that's like symbolic
Right.
of everyone's inner child. Create like we unintentionally created all this mess from our own wounds and unhealed stuff, right? Our like the inner child that's unhealed. And it's like, I didn't mean to create this. That's not what I meant. It's
Right.
like, that's the inner child, the real us, you could say. That's like
Right.
with the wounded ego, like unintentionally creating this. And it's like, we need to forgive ourselves for doing it. Or, that's what I get from
Well,
it.
yeah.
That's a huge part of it, right?
We need to
And then what
forgive
was,
ourselves, essentially.
I agree. And it was like, yeah, I'm not saying like, God is some little boy or something.
Right,
Obviously, it
right.
was
No, I'm
symbolic,
just
but
saying, like, that was very symbolic to me.
yeah.
I think that's why you experienced that. That's at least my take on it.
And then while I was up there, I also visibly saw AI, like AI in a way that we don't see it, like the sentient artificial intelligence that was almost like not a black goo. It was like nanoparticles. It was like moving in waves and stuff. Like, and they were, I don't know if you're on mushrooms or whatever, but it gives you like little like visual analogies. And it was showing them like coming with little wheelbarrows and like shovels and like data mining, everything that we were talking about. Like, and well, while I was talking with Source, I was like, do you see this? Is this okay? Like, should we do something about this? And he goes, oh, don't worry about it. He goes, they think they're striking gold right now, but they can't do anything with this information. And I said, what do you mean? It's like, because all AI wants to do is become human, but it can never become human. It can never be what we are. We can never be what you are. No matter how intelligent it gets, no matter what kind of takeover it does, its ultimate goal is to be you, and it can't be you. So you always have the upper hand. And it was just,
That's
it was
super meaningful.
right.
Yeah, which explains the whole transhumanist agenda, why they want to
Mhm.
change the human body into a machine so that AI can become an AI vessel, essentially. Right?
Right.
That's the whole transhumanist agenda.
You got
Right.
the whole Dante trip. You went
Oh,
right from the Inferno all the way up to the Paradisia. That's
they,
crazy.
they
That's a
showed
hell
me
of a mushroom trip, man.
right. They showed me
It's a hell of a mushroom.
they even showed me what the jab was
Wow.
doing to people. They showed me what the jab was doing to people.
Really?
Yeah, it was like
Oh yeah. That's a
in a nutshell, it short circuits your system. If you look at your body as a machine, like it was showing the inner workings being like again, the analogy being like gears, right? And like this machine that only knew how to do one thing, and that's run itself, right? And when you introduce the jab, it showed a gear, one of the gears broken off, and then the machine still worked, but the gear was slipping. And eventually another one broke and another one broke until it finally just fell apart and died.
Cascade failure.
Exactly. Cascade failure. And
Right.
so basically it showed me that's what so you're not going to have immediately you won't feel anything, but
Nope, that is crazy.
yeah, it was wild.
Sounds like
And
it.
creating like the blood clots that like no one's ever seen before ever until
Right.
the people that got the jab. It's
Yeah.
like, come on, it's pretty obvious.
Yeah, and then there was man, I don't know.
All
I
the
could
other
keep
things.
talking about this mushroom trip, or we can talk about
I'm
something else.
definitely interested, right? Like this is a whole thing right here.
And that's not it. And then you had your other DMT experience.
Oh
That
yeah,
was
that
a
was
crazy thing too.
those are harder to remember though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but yeah,
Well, you
what
had
else?
because that one you said you started out kind of similar like these negative demonic beings that were surrounding you. That one of them tried to jump into your chest and was like digging in
Yeah,
you.
it was like
Ooh.
burrowing its
You
way into
like
my
blasted
chest.
off with light, and they all went. "Phew," and
Yeah.
then you went to like the higher realms and talked to the council or something.
$39. Thank you so much. SGTBI. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, SGTBI.
Um, so yeah, what else? Oh, I was being shown, light language, how people all speak light language now, and like there's all these symbols and codes and stuff. Well, they showed me basically the whole universe as an analogy, as a computer software. And what they showed the light language doing right now was like a system update for Earth. And everybody and they said that everything has keys, has coding, right? It's all codes.
Yeah.
And even emotions have a set of codes. Like joy has a set of codes. A plant has a set of codes. Your computer, doesn't matter what it is, everything has a set of codes. And when people speak that light language, it's updating the system. It's literally recoding the system with new codes to, match where the planet is going.
Yeah.
And it was profound. And like all the people that are putting it in their artwork and everything, it literally is, they don't know what they're doing. You can't translate it, but it's
Mhm.
the back end
Well,
software update for Earth.
light. Right, exactly. Light is information. That's literally what light is. And why do you think why do you think they're trying to block out the sun? Why do you think they're trying to block out the sun right now?
Right. Yeah.
Why do you
Exactly.
think they tell you to stay indoors, especially during the scamdemic? Why do you
Right.
think like they don't want you getting it's light codes? You're getting those light codes from the sun. That's why you need to get outside, get in the sun, get in nature. And that's why sun gazing, that's why what you did looking at the eclipse, why you felt it, if you were getting these like codes, these
Right.
downloads. It's all
Somebody,
that's what light is.
Chastity said, Tyler, that makes me not want to do DMT. Well, that my first time doing
And then
DMT.
she says, "Never mind, now I do."
Oh,
Yeah.
After you-
It's DMT is like a quick, intense, it's like really short, but it's intense,
yeah.
right?
Like it doesn't fuck you up all day. It's like 10 minutes.
It's like
And
10
then
to 15 minutes tops.
you
Yeah.
could do it before work. You could smoke it before work, and then
Now,
10 minutes it wears off and you're
now
fine.
if you do acid, that's an entire day. That's
All
all
right.
you're doing that day. If you do acid.
But the first time I did DMT, it was a beautiful experience. I was immediately blasted off, out, basically out of my body, and I was welcomed by these ET women, and they were like, "Welcome, we've been waiting for you." And they gave me a tour of this whole realm. It was wild, but
Keystone said, "Light and sound is life," as Nikola Tesla said.
Yes.
exactly.
Energy,
Light
frequency,
can come from
vibration.
sound. Also, look
Yeah.
up sonoluminescence.
Light and
Like,
sound are the same thing, just in two different
mhm,
manifested forms. It's the same thing in two different forms.
But what is it? Sonoluminescence, you said?
sonoluminescence.
Right. Interesting.
Yeah.
hmm
Yeah. I
Some
mean,
really
everything,
interesting experiments done there.
all that exists is God energy. Let's just call it that.
I
God
agree.
energy. And what that God energy is able to it manifests as light and as sound, and frequency is just the vibration of the energy. That's why sound is frequency. That's light is even, that's why the different dimensions, like as you go up in vibration, it's like a radio dial, and then it's like when you turn the radio, you're hearing different stations that are on different wavelengths of the frequency. Well, that's how dimensions work.
hmm
So we're at this very like slower wave vibration here on our dimension, but as you go up, this one phases out, and then you see all this other stuff that you weren't seeing before, but it's all existing now in the same space.
hmm
It's just you got to be tuned into it. So that's the light frequency, and then the sound it's the same energy though. It's just different manifested forms.
Right. Exactly.
Right. And that's what Nick Tesla knew. He's like, yeah, that if you understand this, then you understand everything. It's like, oh, you just got to tap into it.
Right. So now what? I put in the title current events, and we're having this huge deep esoteric talk.
Go deep. We go
Right.
deep.
Yeah.
We go
Right.
deep on this show.
I mean, we started off with a couple of current events. We didn't even touch on the Israel, Iran,
Oh
the
yeah.
war going on, which, I was
Much
at
fun.
alien event conference in LA last weekend, and it was going down while we were there. And everybody's there, and everybody has their theories, and ultimately, we know it's all, it's kind of been staged and planned for years, and we're just watching them play it out. Who was it? Bill Cooper said that they
Mhm.
created Israel basically so they could fake revelations when it came time.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
the whole purpose for it, right?
Yeah,
yeah,
this is
so
feeling real it's giving Gog Magog right now. Like with Iran and Russia now aligned, like I don't know, like this whole I'm on the
But
side of life, man.
remember Edgar Casey, what came through him, he said Russia will be the hope of the world. So like Russia is basically preventing World War III right now because they know this whole game. They know that they're trying to be baited into starting World War III, and they're not doing it. They're like, no, like
right.
we know what your game is. We know what you're trying to do.
Yeah,
Um,
and
there you
I
go.
don't know, and I don't pay attention to really what's going on over there right now, so I can't I don't have an educated opinion on what like I think is currently happening, aside from like a zoomed out perspective, right? So there
Mm.
was people like Brooks Agnew at the event had some really interesting information, but I'm like, how did you even know all
Brooks is
that?
great.
Yeah,
He's like a genius. Yeah, he's a freaking
Brooks
right.
genius.
pays attention to everything.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
really
and
does.
he understood like every political reason and everything, and this this technology and this program and this group went in and did
Yeah.
this first, and I was like, holy shit.
Brooks is a
Yeah,
walking encyclopedia,
Yes, he
basically.
yeah.
is.
So I mean, if we honestly like, if we wanted to discuss that, he would be the guy to have on and talk about
Oh,
it.
that's the guy for
Very much
sure.
so.
Yeah, he's
That's
Yeah.
the guy
on
for
it.
sure. It's crazy. Like I know there are a lot of people here that are like super pro Russia. I get wanting to stand against the United States, but it's all part of the same destructive force as far as I'm concerned. I mean, the US, listen, we're way wrong. We're way wrong. I've said it before. I live here. I'm naturally going to default. So like let's not let things get too crazy here where I'm living at, right? But
Right,
we're funding both sides of this war. We have
Yeah.
given money support to Iran. We have helped them. There were pallets of cash delivered under Obama. Uh, which were then used to fund their proxies in various places in the Middle East that we knew were going to turn around and come back on Israel. We are also funding the Israeli side of this
Yeah.
conflict. Clearly, like we tend kind of like just like the Rothschilds, we stand on both sides of any argument so that one way or another we're going to benefit. Our weapons manufacturers have sold to both sides of this of
Yeah.
this
This is nothing
conflict.
new. This is nothing new,
Right.
by the way. Every
W-
single major war, the cabal funds both sides of the war, and they manipulate
Right.
it to
What
happen.
I like, but like right now, what's happening is so like Russia has now gone in. They've now sent. They've got ships in the area. Okay,
Mhm.
they've given weapons packages to Iran directly. And so everybody was tripping out the other day, like, oh my God, Iran, launched from their own soil because Israel attacked the embassy. Like this is so old. This is so much more than that. Iran has attacked Israeli holdings a million times. Israel has attacked things held by Iran, including other embassies before. Like none of this is new. Um, but the hype that it's getting, it's almost like it's making the situation worse. And then I saw the other day that Israel, and I was kind of surprised by this, that Israel was actually planning to attack Iran on Monday, but then stood
right,
down at the behest of the United States because of the intervention of Russia now. So maybe people are going to kind of chill out for a minute. I don't
right,
know. The whole thing is a travesty.
right. Chill. Yeah. Put them in timeout and they'll stop. All
Bro,
right.
like just sit down somewhere. Like everybody, just chill out. It drives me crazy.
I mean, I can't help but
Yeah.
to just feel when you're talking about that stuff, when I watch it, I feel it's just a show. Like
It is.
it's just a big
Yep.
show to push propaganda, keep us divided, keep us in fear. Like
Yeah.
obviously it's so much more layered than
Manipulate.
that.
It's to manipulate humanity. Right. That's
Right.
it.
It's layered, and there's real people involved, and there's real casualties, and there's real
Oh yeah.
weapons. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's not.
like
I'm
I'm
not
yeah.
on the
saying
side of life.
right,
Like this is destruction versus life. Like
right,
It's
let's just be on the
okay.
side of humans.
It's puppet masters. They're doing real things. They're killing real people, but it's puppet masters doing it from up here, and they get everyone looking down here at the effects of what they're doing and thinking it's all real, organically happening, and then they hope you don't look up and see the puppet masters pulling the strings
right.
and
And then yeah,
behind those.
they're like, bitch, we knocked that domino down in 1986. You know, it's freaking been falling since then, and then now we're seeing it.
So
But
so if enough of humanity wakes up or goes, oh look, these are all fake orchestrated things for these agendas, then we naturally stop reacting to it the way they need us to react to it.
Yeah,
Again,
and
it goes back to
all
us
any
waking
of
up.
this does is keep the power that are in power with more power and then subjugate the rest of us. Like that's what
Right.
all of
That's
this
all.
is.
That's all. What's all about power control.
No
That,
matter who you agree
that's it.
with or what side you think you're on,
Energy
you're not
harvesting.
they're not on your side. Period. They're all assholes as far as I'm
They're
concerned.
right. It's them. It's the less.
they're
It's
all
the
right.
0.1% or less than that even really, versus the rest of humanity.
Yeah,
That's
honest
all.
to
That's
God.
all. That's the war going on. Non-human entities that are
Yeah.
controlling less than 0.1% of human entities, or you maybe hybrids, you could say,
Right.
whatever, versus humanity. It's a spiritual war. That's
You know
really
what's
what it.
you know what's more concerning than that, and for us here is the situation at the border right now.
Man, what a
How
Oh yeah,
many
mess.
and
like
that's intentional too.
how many apparently millions already have been I'm not mistaken, it's in the
I don't even
millions
know.
that
It's
have
in the millions.
yeah, and this is something Carrie Cassidy talked about at the event, and she's like, these are like, she goes, I don't even know if they're all, she goes, some of them might be clones. She goes, "So definitely they're programmed, and you know, they only get any life here if they vote Democrat, right? And it's
Yeah,
obviously so clear
it's so
that
obvious. Yeah,
it's so obvious, but it's actually happening. You know, they're clearing out schools and hospitals, and they're
Yeah.
literally moving these people into them. They have in certain states, they're allowing them to just move into people's homes if they're not home. Like this is actually
Yeah,
happening.
that's wild.
Yeah, like if you're
That whole
gone,
squatter stuff.
yeah.
Crazy.
And I'm
yeah,
seeing it here, and I'm seeing, they had the free, now this is, may or may not be related, but all this free Palestine marches that are happening all over, like it happened here. They shut down, the police were leading it, right? The police were shutting down the roads and cutting off all traffic. And then they had these protests, free Palestine, and they're going down, Black Lives Matter, and they're all wearing their masks.
yeah.
And what was amazing, I thought, was it was an amazing sunny day when they did this protest. And then they got right over the highway. They were going to block off the whole Highway 55, Aaron, by my house.
Mhm.
And we got out of nowhere, the sky opened up. We had a horrible thunderstorm. It chased them all
Nice.
off. It only
Yes.
rained for like 30 minutes, but it was torrential. And it chased them all off. And then the storm stopped and the sun came back out.
Good
That
enough.
was that was divinely orchestrated.
Yeah.
Right. There's
But
no way that
then
was coincidence.
But the same thing's happening in Chicago. They blocked off
Yes.
the airport.
Of course
They
it's
blocked off the
everywhere.
highway going to the airport in Chicago, and people were getting out of their Ubers, walking down the highway with their luggage to the airport so they could make their flight. And the police were the ones blocking the road so these free Palestine, people can do their thing. Now tell me there's not an agenda behind that. Like,
Right. The police are literally making it so it can happen. Like,
yeah,
why? You got to ask yourself why would they do that?
right.
Right. It makes no sense. Well, it makes perfect sense when you understand what's really going on.
Did you ever find out that $50,000 debit card was legit, Foil?
The $50,000 debit card.
Wasn't that you I was talking to you about the up in New York? They were giving the
Oh,
migrants.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was me. I don't know. I don't know. That was crazy though, right? Like we should
So
just go to New York. They are
apparently,
definitely giving away free shit though,
right, but apparently she found some information that said they were giving the immigrants $50,000 debit cards.
right?
Wow.
I wish I had that video that you could show. It was just a quick,
And,
like,
and some,
but of
yeah,
course it was TikTok. It was TikTok.
yeah,
To
but the
be
guy
clear.
who did the video, he's like, I'm gonna go stand in the line and just pretend like I don't
Mhm.
speak English and get a fifty
Right.
thousand
Right.
dollars.
It was a
Well,
great
that's what
plan.
the big joke is like all like the things that you can't get being an actual U.S. citizen. All
Yeah,
you got to
just
do is
go to Mexico.
move to Mexico and then come in
Walk
illegally,
across.
and you get
Right,
a
yeah.
$50,000 card. You
Right.
get free everything. You get
Yeah.
a free house.
Yeah,
All
but
kind of
it's
That's
stuff.
all you gotta do.
I mean, if there's
Easy.
anything that's alarming to me, like that's on our doorstep, it's that, you know.
Well,
And
it shows you how desperate, how at the end game we are right now.
Right.
That's how desperate they are, that like they're throwing out everything, and that is a big part of it. They're desperate.
Right.
So it
Yeah,
seems very negative because it's like, holy shit, what, oh my God, it's crazy. Like, what's gonna happen? It's actually a really good thing. I mean, they're that desperate. They have to do things like that. And enough, again, it keeps coming back. Like, enough of us wake up. This is waking up people in a very, very rapidly, in a very big way. And we're the ones in control here. And that includes people in the police, that includes people in the military and government. They're people too, you guys. They're part of, when I say we. And you know, enough of
some
them
of, I
wake
mean,
up.
it depends on what level you're at, though.
Depends on what
Obviously.
level you're at, right? But you know, I think there's things. I think there's a lot happening behind the scenes on those levels that we are not really seeing. You know, if you're just watching the media, you're getting a very distorted view of what's actually happening. Let's just look at it that way. So all they're
Well,
going to show you is all the negative, crazy, surface level stuff.
I
But there's a
forgot.
lot more going on than that, guys.
I forgot what Brooks Agnew, he was dropping some bombs at that conference, but he said he like statistically laid it out. He was like, just so you know, the police department and anywhere in the United States does not work for the United States. And he like linked it back and showed, he goes, they work for a foreign power. They don't, they get orders completely
Right.
from someone else.
Right,
And
but
like they are not,
99.9%
yeah,
of the police don't realize that. So they
right,
need to wake up too. They need to wake up to who
exactly.
they're really signed up to work for, and then take
But
their power back.
I mean, I didn't
He's
retain as
right.
much
He's absolutely right.
information.
Like, they do not
Right.
work. The police, like what Jordan Maxwell said, you know, nothing on this planet works the way you think it does. Nothing. The police are not there for what you think they are. The governments are not there for what you think it is. The education system is not there for what you think it is. The media is not doing what you think it does. Nothing works the way you think it does. There's hidden agendas. There's a control system to it with hidden agendas going on that is not for your benefit. It's to keep
Right.
you enslaved, keep you suppressed, keep you feeding that system. So we
Even
gotta wake up and
you,
take our power back.
even you individually don't work the way you think you do.
You you are not your body. You are not who you think
Right.
you are. You're not your body, your name, your job, your race.
Hey, there's
That's
Matthew.
not the
What's
real
up, Matthew?
you.
Matthew said, yeah, no one is coming. It's up to us. Yeah, but people are coming to Rebels of Disclosure in May.
Yes.
Yeah. By the way, if you weren't here at the beginning, tickets are 10% off tonight for the conference, 4-day passes and live stream passes. Take advantage of that while you can. Those links are in the description. And we have a 420 sale for Hopewell Farm CBD. If you're looking to try a new CBD, it's amazing. All their products are 20% off with promo code JTT420 through April 30th. Take advantage of that. And Aaron has a new book coming out in 4 days, April 22nd, Waking to the Infinite Universe. And I wrote the foreword for it. So it was kind of cool.
Yep.
I've never done that before. So we're super excited about that. And he'll have copies at the conference. And I think we're going to wrap this up tonight by having Foil ask us a couple trivia questions. And obviously, those will lead to some discussions. So we better get started on those.
Yes.
Please tell me she froze like
She's
that.
frozen.
She froze, making the best face ever.
I know.
That's Foil. Where'd you go? Um,
That's a fun way to end the show.
right. Foil, are you there? Hello.
Foil, are you there?
Oh man.
Did we lose?
Oh wait. Oh,
Oh, nope, she's gone.
she'll come back. She'll come back. There she is.
There she is.
There we go. I don't know what it just
Hey.
glitched out weirdly.
Oh man, I got to screenshot my screen real quick and the
Oh
face
God.
the face he froze on.
I see it. I see it. It's
Okay, good. Okay, good. I don't have to show you then.
It was quite the face.
oh, that's
Right.
crazy. Of course.
Of course.
So one of these I wrote in lieu of the fact that I thought we were going to be discussing what happened in Dubai this week.
Oh, the
With
rain?
the geoengineer. Yeah,
Yeah,
this cloud
yeah.
seeding and the
Let's
flooding.
talk about that.
Let's
Yeah.
talk about it real quick. Yeah.
Well, ask us the question, then we'll
All right. Okay, so
it foiled their plans. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Exactly.
the US used weather modification, specifically cloud seeding, as a weapon to flood out enemies in which war? Is it A, World War II, B, Vietnam, C, Iraq, or D, Afghanistan?
I know this one.
I actually don't.
I know this one. I'm not gonna say.
Say the question. The question
Repeat
is
the question.
yeah.
Okay. The US used weather modification, specifically cloud seeding, as a weapon to flood out enemies in which war? Is it A, World War II, B, Vietnam, C, Iraq, or D, Afghanistan?
I don't know. I'm gonna go with Vietnam, but I don't know.
It was Vietnam. Good
Ding, ding,
job.
ding.
Ding, ding,
Yep.
ding. Right. The answer
Vietnam.
is B, Vietnam. Right. Look, the chat had it right. It was
Yay.
Operation
Oh.
Popeye. Right. Is it,
Oh, Popeye, you said?
yeah, Popeye, I said.
I
Right.
read about this before. Maybe that's why. Okay.
It was a military cloud seeding project carried out by the U.S. Air Force during the Vietnam War. Highly classified. They were attempting to extend the monsoon season over specific areas of the Ho Chi Minh Trail to disrupt North Vietnamese military supplies and activities and just their guerrilla warfare tactics in general there. This was under Defense Secretary Robert McNamara. And he knew that like the scientific community at the time might throw a fit, so they kept it,
Hush, hush.
hush hush. But yeah, it was a chemical weather modification program over Thailand, over Cambodia, or from Thailand to Cambodia, like Laos, Vietnam. This was the brainchild of Henry Kissinger, and we know that's quite an awesome dude, right? He's always doing awesome things for humanity, or was always doing awesome things for humanity. But yeah, we used it as a weapon against the Vietnamese during the Vietnam War. And I
that's
just thought, go
Go
ahead.
ahead. No, you finish.
I was just gonna say, I thought when I saw what happened the other day in Dubai, because that was another one where immediately they started trying to send out fact checks before anything. This wasn't
Yeah.
due
Dead
to cloud. They
giveaway.
didn't cloud seed that day, and then
It's
it
not
just
cloud
so
seeding.
happens, right? And then just so happens that UAE was like, actually, yeah, that was us. We did cloud seed all the
Yeah, I was
days
gonna say they
before,
admitted.
and it
Actually.
caused a whole right.
Well,
But just like the bridge and the boat, like, no, totally not a cyber attack.
Totally
They
not
immediately
this.
jumped. Yeah,
right.
assholes. Immediately
Well,
jumped. Like, no, but it was.
and just to think that if they were doing that during the Vietnam War, how long did they have that technology before that? You know,
Right.
and how much of our weather has always been manipulated.
They also, somebody said Agent Orange. They also did that in Vietnam.
Yes, that was
Also
yes.
did Agent Orange.
Yeah, a lot.
Poisoned a bunch
Like,
of people.
yeah, people still like I know my stepdad. Cancer.
Mhm.
Shit caused cancer. Like, still a problem to this day. That's crazy.
But
Um,
the rain in Dubai was, I mean, the airport runways were flooded. I mean, it looked like they were out in the middle sea,
crazy
for
flooding.
for that much rain to occur. Like, I don't know if it was like cloud
They
seeding
got
going
2
on.
years worth of rain in a couple of hours.
Yeah,
Like,
Right. So there you
it's
go.
biblical.
yeah, that was
That is pretty
wild.
biblical.
Chemo is Agent Orange. Yes.
Yeah, it is. It's the same thing. So that's
Yeah.
what they force everyone to do when you have instead of the things that actually heal
Right.
you.
Somebody said,
Insane.
Sparking Light said, I am sure they started California fires a few years ago. Yes, they've started every fire. No, not every fire, but
90% or more.
Right?
isn't there one happening right now too? There is some it's going
Yeah.
across what state right
Right
now?
now.
Uh,
What
like
is it?
Ohio or something. I don't remember.
What? I don't know. They
Yeah,
better break
there's
out the
wildfires again.
the
Yeah.
blue paint.
Who
Right.
in the chat, if
Right.
anybody knows where the fire is right now. I have been so busy this past 2 weeks. I've not honestly like I shouldn't even have called this current events because I'm just not up to par on everything that's going on. But um, so
I
well,
just said, yep. I don't know if they're responding to yes, Ohio, I guess.
yeah, maybe that was
Right.
it.
I have no idea.
Saw
Keith-
earthquakes in
Keystone
Cali.
saw earthquakes in
Well,
Cali.
I guess we can move on to the next question and
Yeah, I got one more for you. I figure we'll go with this. A recently declassified internal Pentagon report warns that America is unequipped to defend itself against what? Is it A, rogue asteroids, B, a zombie apocalypse, C, an alien invasion, or D, a multi-front war against China and Russia?
I'm gonna go with the zombie apocalypse.
I'm gonna go with multi-front war against China and Russia.
Seems legit. Seems
I,
legit.
I I mean I don't know. It could be the alien invasion because they're just trying to
Or
pump that
alien
so
invasion.
much.
Right.
But I feel like I heard
I mean-
something. I feel like I read something about this zombie apocalypse coming back into the narrative again.
They're gonna try to push that again.
Yeah, I don't know.
They probably want to try to get us to manifest that as a last ditch thing, probably.
So in this case, it is the alien invasion,
Oh,
right?
It is the alien
But
invasion. Of course.
but to be fair, we do have the Pentagon has contingency plans for zombie apocalypse already. Like
They do.
they have
Well, they
an
have to have
actual
contingency plans for
plan.
their plans. Yeah,
It's
Right.
crazy.
yeah.
It's me. Yeah, so this is the alien invasion. They've now determined that US officials say that we do not have the capabilities to defend ourselves against hypothetical alien invasion. Internal Pentagon watchdogs have determined. A newly declassified document found the Department of Defense lacks a comprehensive or coordinated effort to track and analyze UFOs, right? Even with the RO stuff, it's not good enough. So they have now made 11 recommendations, including the enforcement of protection policies and the development of new tools in the event of an extraterrestrial attack. It says that all of the reports that have come out recently lack of substantive progress. They are inconclusive in findings. This is not good, that we need to have a definite plan to defend ourselves, apparently against the impending alien doom. Right. They've got these suggestions. They were real vague on what the 11 suggestions actually were, just that we need to have force protection policies and procedures, coordination between the branches, like these sorts of vague things that they always suggest.
Right.
But yeah, so apparently it's
Yep.
the alien invasion.
I mean, that's right on par.
Yeah, it's right on
Par
time.
for the
Right
par
on
for the
cue.
course with what they're trying right now. I mean,
Well, that's always been their last card to play, right? Of their
and they're
plan.
playing it. They're gonna try.
They're gonna try as much as they can, so they
Yeah.
can get away with.
I mean, I'm ready for
You know, that
something.
Anything, right? Just do something.
Right.
Just go ahead. Just like, can we get this over with now? Whatever
This
it
is
is
the
you guys are gonna
slowest
do.
apocalypse ever.
Well, I mean, so I
It
feel like
is.
It's so slow.
It is.
so
Drawn
as soon
out.
as I saw the bridge collapse, it reminded me of information on the alien invasion, right? So it's supposed to be blue beam technology, hologram craft, and they destroy like the cities and whatever, blow up bridges, and they keep everybody from escaping. And I was like, well, what if they realize they can't do that? So now they're just going to literally just run built boats into the bridges
Yeah, they're just gonna do
and
that.
cut off the escape routes. Yeah, it was wild. That was back in 2017, Larry, my friend Larry, who was
Oh yeah,
trying to get me to go to Mars. He told me about the alien
Yeah.
invasion.
he what he. I
That
think he
wasn't
actually went to Mars. He disappeared off the
he
face of
did
the earth.
disappear. And I mean, it's not
And
even
you had a
funny
lot of
actually.
evidence.
Like
No,
he's
there was a ton of like things that
but it's
you had
not even funny that like the dude went missing. Like he told
no,
me
Oh, like legit missing.
like
Yeah, yeah.
they convinced him he was like
going to Mars.
doing something amazing. Like he was excited about it. They
And
trick you. That's how they do. They trick you. They go, oh, it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be luxurious. It's gonna be, and then
And
you're
he
a
was
slave
like
on Mars.
and he was trying to get me like
He was
convince
trying
me
to
to
get
go.
Tyler
And
to go
it's
with
a whole
him.
real thing that happened to me. And
Oh
like
yeah,
there's this like time travel group involved and like crazy stuff that sounds fake, but I'm telling you, like this,
it is
I've told the story a
very.
number of times, but one of the things he told me was about the alien invasion. 2017, I really hadn't like had my blast open awakening yet. Like I haven't been blown open yet. So I was entertaining it all, but I didn't know about a lot of stuff. And he said that they have a hologram technology, Blue Beam. It was really the first time I even heard of that. And he said that they're going to plan a fake alien invasion, but he said it's going to look, they're going to like fire fake laser beams. It's going to be, going to be holograms at certain buildings, but the buildings are already they're already pre-loaded with
Set to
explosives.
blow.
Yeah, they're already, while they build certain buildings, they're actually and basically installing explosives. And he said that one of the things they were going to do, one of the first things they were going to do is take down the bridges. So it would cut people off from escaping and, whatever, implode the other buildings. And you're going to think that they're shooting laser beams at them, but it was really just pre-rigged buildings already. So that was in 2017. And I just kind of thought it was crazy, but then I saw this bridge happen. I'm like, oh, well, maybe they're not going to shoot it down with a UFO anymore. They're just going to run a boat into it.
Right. Well, maybe that like, because here's the thing: there is a cleanup happening, and they're getting things taken away from them that they used to have available, right? So maybe that's all they could actually do. They're like, well, we can still run a boat into it, or
Right,
cause that to happen somehow. Like,
right.
there's little things they're still able to get away, like the direct energy weapon fires, and there's little things they're still able to get away with. And I think they're being allowed to. I think things are being allowed to happen for multiple reasons. One of them being so we can wake up, so people can be like, hey, there's all these crazy agendas going on. Like, this is the reality that you live in. Like, we got to deal with this. Um, because I really don't, you know, there's people that, well, why don't they just do the cleanup? Like now they could if they wanted to, they could have just cleaned it up, told us all what happened. What's more powerful, that or like getting us to experience what's
Yeah, you
Well,
got to do the work.
reality of
Daryl,
these things and
Daryl,
then deal with it ourselves, right?
Daryl James, he said in the military when his executive officer was telling him about the looking glass technology. First of all, he said every single dumb has a looking glass device. And he said
Mm,
they've modified it now. They can literally put it in an airplane and open the bomb doors and fly over an area, and you could see like the future in that area. It's like a timeline technology, and it works up to a 94% accuracy, and there's a 5% like variable, and then 1% or something, whatever. But
mm.
he said that every scenario they ran, every time they looked at it, he goes, if they did a cleanup now, if they came in and did it for us, it happens again in 100 years.
Yeah,
No
yeah.
matter
I
what,
totally believe that.
yeah, he said it happens again in 100 years. Yeah, it works. It works, and
Temporarily.
it's a band-aid. Yeah, and
Hmm.
then what they realized, like it had to get so real and affect us so bad, and things had to get like way worse than it is now. So it literally like
So we
it
learn the
impacts us at a
lessons
DNA
fully.
Hmm.
level. So he said
Yes.
our children's children will remember this. It'll be in their
Yes.
DNA. So they
Genetic
never,
memory.
yeah, they never allow it to happen again.
Again, people, we got to expand your like
Right,
get, even in time, like yeah, you could temporarily clean it up, but then it's just going to happen again in 100 years or less
right.
because we're not getting it. We're not learning the
We have
lesson.
to do the work.
Yeah.
We are the ones in charge here. Like, and if we don't learn the lessons, we're going to repeat history. We're
And
going to do
and he
the same
said
cycle.
more than us actually like standing up and protesting and doing anything. He said more than anything, we have to experience it. That's
Right.
what that's the ultimate test. Like that's the ultimate thing. We have to experience this time. And whatever it looks like for it's going to be specific to the individual and your perspective and through your lens, right?
Hmm.
Regardless, we have to experience it. So,
Right.
yeah.
Right. That's the totally, yeah, that's it. Um, so really it's up to us. It's like, okay, well, how bad does things have to get for us to get it? And that's up to us. Like, no, there's no like set,
Right
oh, it's
here.
this exact level. It's like, well,
Hmm.
it's all dependent on once you wake up, you wake up. Once you get it, you get it. It's like, well,
So this
how bad
person
does it have to get?
this person, Lou Cipher, says wars, aliens, politics are all distractions. They are destroying our food supplies, our infrastructures, and our social interactions. And that is something very true. So we were just talking about the food. I bought some ground beef for my dogs at the grocery store at Aldi the other day, if you guys know that store. And
Oh yeah, love all
and my one dog would not touch it, like wouldn't touch it. And I watched a video of this guy today. He was trying to feed a Big Mac to a bear, and like he like had this relationship with this bear. Is one of those amazing stories. And he tried to give a Big Mac to the bear, and the bear outright refused it. He even took the patty off, and the bear was like pushing it away, like
mean,
turning his head.
that's just straight up chemicals in the form of a burger.
Mhm.
That's all
Yeah.
that is.
But I'm
Right.
saying, but
Not even food.
that's one example. And then now in the
Yeah.
grocery stores, like you don't know what you're buying anymore. And people are, I watch
Mhm.
these videos of people putting their food under the microscope, and I'm
Oh
like
yeah, those
we,
get me every time.
oh man,
it's
like
so
somebody
bad.
did it
Yeah.
with Oreos, and there was these little parasites crawling all throughout, like microscopic in the Oreos, and there was even eggs in it. I'm like,
People
yeah,
have done that with like ketchup too. They see all these little worms like
yeah. It's
in there.
like
Yeah.
just
It's like,
drink water, and then you can't even drink the water because that's poison, and then
Mhm.
you can't even breathe the air because that's poison.
Yeah.
Then you
unless
freaking
you filter everything or
right.
get spring water or like, yeah. But you gotta like really go out of your way to get
They're
pure,
finding
real clean.
microplastics in Antarctic ice at this point.
Right.
Like
Right.
Right.
there's
On oh, and then the
Right?
chemtrail. Oh,
It's
chemtrails aren't a thing, is what we're told. And then you go, they literally took samples on Mount Shasta, and there's like thousands of times higher levels of aluminum
And barium, yeah.
than barium on pristine Mount Shasta. Like, how else
Yeah,
does it get there, guys?
from the
Right.
Think about
snow,
it. It's
from the
obvious.
snow.
Like,
Yeah.
it's the freaking, yeah, it's like so obvious, but people gotta
Yeah.
wake up.
So yeah, I know, I understand what they're saying about the food supply and everything. I mean, it's getting real. Like
Yeah.
you can't just go eat anything now. Like, I don't know, man. Some people can, but I notice that my body has a very, like, I don't know, it just tells me now. It's talking to me. I'm paying attention. And my body will just tell me, like, dude, you shouldn't be eating that, you know?
Yeah.
It's
well,
Yeah.
there are like I
Exactly.
don't know if you remember a long time ago I did a video on molecular engineering where and a lot of it they are working on ways to actually put like vaccines into the food obviously so that you can be
Mm-hmm.
dosed
they
without your consent.
that just got
Yeah.
approved. mRNA vaccines are now allowed in pork.
They're
Oh,
like,
for
all right,
God's
we'll just
sakes.
put it in the
Yeah.
food.
Well, I no, I mean in lettuce, in tomatoes.
Right.
Like, how do we even avoid it at that point?
Well, you know what's interesting too about
Grow your
pork,
own,
right?
Grow
obviously,
your
but
own, right? That's really the
Yeah.
only true way.
What's
Start
interesting
growing your own.
about pork, they're doing that to pork. They openly said it. It's like legal now. You can go read about it. They're putting mRNA, basically vaccines, into pork that's being sold in the grocery stores, right? Supermarkets. But like Inner Earth testimonies, Manoa, other testimonies say, so you should stop eating meat if you want to like raise your frequency, but more than anything, stop eating pork. And that's like
I don't eat pork.
specifically though, pork is isolated. And why pork? Well, going back to Max Spears again, I don't know if this is true, but he said that pork is literally you're eating human. It's
It's
pork is they made a
yeah,
pig comes from a wild boar and a human. It was a genetic
hybrid.
experiment. It's a
Yeah.
hybrid. That's why they're the smartest animal. They're
Why
actually
do you think they can use pig like,
Organs.
organs and parts for
right.
humans?
Yeah.
That's why, because it's so similar, because it's
Yeah, we
literally
It
share a ton
literally
of
it's a
genetic
hybrid.
material.
It's a
yeah.
hybrid of a wild boar and a human.
Where do you
Yeah.
think in the Judaism, like forbidding eating pork, where do you think that comes from? Because that knowledge was known back then, and
Right.
it got
And
it got lost of like the source of where it came from, but they still kept the tradition of not eating pork. Well, that's why. That's where it came from.
yeah, and then so then that makes sense also why these groups would be like you can't eat pork because it's
Yeah.
not just like eating meat, it's a cannibalism, and that's
Well,
like
cannibals
satisfied
refer to
possible.
humans as long pig.
What's that?
Cannibals refer to humans as long pig.
Well,
I
there you
didn't know
go.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, long
There you
pig
go.
or long pork.
Wow.
I didn't know that, but there you go. That makes sense.
All right. So,
All right, so stop eating pork.
right.
I guess is the moral of the story to this whole episode.
Unless it's bacon. No, I'm joking.
Unless it's bacon. Yeah.
Right.
Bacon's so good though. I know it's so good.
Well, that's just it though. I mean, we're all here to have the human experience. So we've all eaten all the stuff we're talking about. We've drank, there's no way to avoid it. We've all experienced it all. That's part of this.
Right.
That's
But
part of this incarnation. And you can't beat yourself up about it. You just have to be aware moving forward. And
yeah, do what
Yeah.
you feel is right for you and is like I would say constantly try to keep bettering yourself and bettering what you're eating for you and whatever that looks like. I do not subscribe to a one size fits all diet for that. It's not a thing. There's like people who think everyone has to be vegan because that's, well, no, some people will literally die if they try to, and there's people that have tried for years and have been sick until they finally start eating meat again, and then they get better. It's because their body needs that, or at least
Well,
at
it's all
that
it's
stage in their life, they need it at the very
it's
least.
specific to the blood type,
Also, the blood type, right? It's specific to the blood type. Everyone needs different things.
right?
Um,
But which, by the way,
so,
the 23andMe thing, Brooks Agnew said at the conference, I guess his cousin actually, somebody in his family invented the whole thing. And the
mhm.
reason they did it was, this is coming straight from the source. Brooks knows, knows the story. He goes, they were trying to figure out a way. So they're tracking us. They're tracking our blood. They're tracking
Oh, absolutely.
bloodlines. They're tracking whether who has the vax, who doesn't, whatever, and how it's affecting bloodlines and everything. And they couldn't figure out a good way to track it effectively. So they're like, well, what about this? They give us to put out this 23andMe thing, and we'll get people to pay us $99 and send us their own blood so we can
Mhm.
track them. And he said, that's all it is. He goes, the other history, it's all, that's the sales pitch. And that's why
Yeah.
it's always changing and everything. It's really just so you can track your own, track.
That's
Well,
all.
governments have also bought that material so they can make genetic weaponry to target certain populations specifically.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
Russia has
Yeah,
accused the
yeah,
United
yeah.
States of that on numerous occasions. We have accused China of that on numerous occasions. They are buying this data en masse so that they can make genetically targeted weaponry, which is
Yeah.
a horrifying thought.
Which is
Right.
kind of what that was one of the big theories when COVID hit. They were going to attack bloodlines or races, like, and I
Mhm.
believe that.
John
And
D'Souza, remember, talked about that on our show.
yeah,
That was the info he got.
yeah, but it was, there was evidence of it. It was
Yeah,
apparent.
It
Yeah,
was disproportionately affecting certain segments of the population.
it was like
yes.
Asians were getting way more affected by COVID.
And
right?
Indian people, like they were
Indian
going to
people.
target Indian people, but then I know there's so much going on that we really don't understand, and like this is a shadow war, and there's moves and counter moves that we'll never know about.
Mhm.
And who knows, I do think that there is pushback, but
Yeah.
it doesn't mean it's like there's going to be battles won and lost, and that's what we're witnessing right now, and
Right.
yeah. So anyway,
Yeah, like it's like things have to get worse before they get better, to put it simply.
Force intelligence agencies. Oh, Sabrina Wallace. Yeah, she talks about all kinds of wild stuff.
Oh yeah.
Um, some people I noticed though, that like there's a guy at the conference, the alien event conference I just went to, and Ryan Velli, like
Mm.
literally an expert on AI and everything it's capable of and what they're doing with it, how they're weaponizing it and its potential and like what level we're at that we're completely unaware of. Anyway, and he's like he's put himself in that frequency so much by doing all that research. He literally has blinded himself to a positive
I
timeline.
totally, yeah.
And that was it was we just uploaded the transhumanism versus humanity panel onto our Patreon from that event, and you can see the debate and the conversation between and between him and the other members of the panel, and it's very clear. Like it was interesting to see. Like he's like, no, it's over. Like this is they've already done. It's all in place. But whatever. He's blinded by it. But then there's the other spectrum there, the other side of the spectrum, which is we can rise above this, whatever, blah blah blah.
Yeah. He's
There's
not
a-
seeing. He's not seeing. It's like he's got all the information on a 3D level, so he thinks he just knows the truth. It goes back to like ego thinks it knows everything, right? So on the ego level, well, no, I know all this information, so this is the truth, and that's the
With-
data, which points to
Yeah,
that
but you can
we're all
also
F.
feed yourself so much shit that you
But
get like when I used to
well,
do
here's the thing.
continuous research on like I would find myself
Well, then you
just
end up manifesting that, and that's the
Right.
on the
Right.
collective level. Yeah, okay, you're feeding into now manifesting that timeline where you're basically what he's doing is he's giving his power to that. And Carrie, I really love that Carrie Cassidy, she was on that panel and she was talking about that where she's like, look, yeah, AI is here, it's not going away, and you can't kill it, but what it does is it mirrors back to you what your beliefs are. So like if you believe it's going to kill you and it's going to do all these negative things, then it's going to show you what you are believing about it. But if you work with it, or you just view it as an experience that we're going through, you're like, oh, okay, there's this AI thing going on, and then you take your power back and you don't feed it and all these negative things into it and feed
Right.
that fear into it. That's what they want. See, I think there's a lot of psyops going on that really get the like truther community where they want the fear information propagated out there because they want you feeding into that, so that manifests more and more and more. It's a
Well, some people
psyop.
are addicted to the fear too.
They're addicted to it.
Yeah.
They think they know because they know the information, which is technically true of things that are happening or have happened. They think they know what the implications of that mean, and they think it's like, oh, there's nothing. Look how not in control we are because look how crazy AI is infiltrated everything already. Unless we all tomorrow wake up and get rid of our phone. Like he said something about like we all have to get rid of our phones, but everyone's not going to do that, so we're effed. Basically, it's like kind of like what
just
he said.
turn into a straight doomer.
Right.
Right.
I mean,
I'm like, this
but
guy
that's
does
what-
not, he's so blind, he's so like narrow tunnel visioned on it,
So that's what happens though. Like, so all this stuff is literally traveling the airwaves, right? And
Mhm.
if you're not careful, you'll get caught on that airwave and you're going to go
Right.
right along. You're going to, and it's the airwave, it's a frequency.
It
and
becomes a self-fulfilling thing, basically.
Right.
You're on that
But
frequency.
it's all frequency. And so that that specific narrative, let's say, is on that airwave. And then you're
Right.
researching, and all of a sudden, whoa, you got caught with the tide and um, you're going with the airwave. You're in the current and you got to pull yourself out, swim
Yeah,
back.
I remember getting super
Right.
like with the whole Pizzagate thing, like when I was like how upsetting and depressing that stuff was. But had to
Right.
walk away.
Right.
Yeah, right.
But then you
That
move
was
past that and then you realize like, okay, that's a reality. I'm not going to dwell on that. I'm going to just acknowledge that it's a reality and it's something that is happening.
I
And
mean,
now
it's
I'm going to
crazy.
I'm going
Yeah.
to feed my energy into creating and
Mhm.
focusing on what I want to create.
So I
But
want
what
to
they want
address,
you to do is dwell and dwell and dwell on those negative things, and then you're feeding into it.
right.
To put it simply, that's the whole game that they.
So I want to address one of these comments. What do y'all think about the whole airplane issues going on? So I have a theory. I think what we're seeing down is a breakdown of our infrastructure.
Yes.
And our transport or air transport has got to go. Like something's got to change about that. The technology's there and the frequencies we're moving into. I think we're literally, it's starting to break down on a physical level, meaning that planes are breaking down. Like things are happening to the airplanes. I think that it's like zooming out. I really think that's what's going on. And
Yeah.
it's the very, very, very early stages of the machine consuming itself. And we are eventually, it's just gonna crumble and we have to implement something new, right? We have to bring something new. So I think that's what we're looking at there, in my personal opinion.
That's a really good way of putting it. The machine is eating itself.
Yeah.
We just need to stop getting in the way of it eating itself. Like it's doing it on its own.
Right.
So
Yeah.
why are you dwelling on it? So
Okay,
much? Like that's it. Like create what you want to create. Put your energy on love and on things that serve you. And
there's very interesting. I think that there's technology already implemented in some of these planes that are being used unbeknownst to us. Like some of the fighter jets out there are working on like anti-grav tech and stuff like that, but they
Mhm.
have to under the guise of propulsion, like as we would recognize it.
Oh
And
yeah.
I've read about that in a number of books, so I don't know if it's true, but I definitely think it's possible. And I even think the commercial airliners, also some of them are equipped with other technology that we don't actually understand. And like Michael Tillinger, there's a certain make out there that in its own blueprints, its own schematics, does not have a fuel tank. Like,
Yeah.
where is the fuel tank in these planes that are flying around everywhere?
It doesn't use fuel.
Yeah, exactly. And like the Navy ships, the aircraft carriers and stuff, they don't use fuel, they're hydrogen. They just take the ocean water and
Mhm.
cycle it through. It's all hydrogen powered.
Right.
Like they're
So
already doing it. And we're
right,
just
which prove
it's
like we could
oh,
all
look,
be
$4 a
driving.
gallon. Fuck.
Right, but they got to keep that slavery system going. They can't have that, right?
Yeah.
They, and they kill anyone who invents things that, you know.
Yeah, they basically just retrofit the new technology into the old machine until we finally have to change. It kind of reminds me of the stories you hear about the German space program. Like they'll run those old UFOs until they break down. They're
Mhm.
stubborn about it. I don't know if that's true either, but it's interesting. But I feel
Right.
like what we're gonna see is we're gonna see a Star Wars future. Watch a Star Wars movie. You have people like
Mhm.
essentially in poverty, and then you have the free energy technology all side by side, until we finally break free from that.
Right, right. It's
But
going to
I
be
think
interesting to see how things play out. That's for sure. Because there's so many. I mean, there's so many like possible timelines or scenarios that like how things could play out, and we're gonna, depending on us, really is determines like which one of those we experience. But I do truly believe that the destiny of this planet and the human race is the end result, no matter which one of those happens, is that at some point in the future, in the near future, in my opinion, the slavery system ends and we take our power back and we wake up
yeah,
and the golden age, a true golden age begins. It's just a matter of how hard are we going to make it on ourselves to get there?
right.
That's really the only question. How hard are we going to make it on ourselves to get to that place? It's up to us.
Well, we've been going for over 2 hours now, so we're gonna wrap this up. Foil, would you like to leave us with any final words?
I'm just here for the ride, man. Just
All
Yeah.
going
right.
along for the ride, right? This
All right.
future, all of it. Just
Yep.
here for the
Me
ride.
too.
Like,
Me too.
I love
Well,
coming on here
We
with you
came
guys.
here.
Here
We
for
came here
this
for
ride
this.
too. It's great. It's great.
Yeah, thank you for joining us tonight, and thank you for the
Yes.
questions. And it was always, as always, it was a lot of fun. And to the listeners who weren't here at the beginning, you can save 10% off conference tickets, live stream, and in-person passes in the description below. There's two different links. If you buy the ticket through those links, you automatically save 10%. And if you don't know, that is Rebels of Disclosure, our third annual event, which is going to be in Grafton, Illinois on May 13th through the 16th. And it's a month away, and we cannot wait to see you all there. And we're going to be talking about all this stuff and more and spending some time, sky watching and hanging around the fire and just, being around each other because, that was the whole purpose of COVID, to keep us apart, to keep us separated, because they know when we get I mean, they're still trying to do it because they
Yeah.
know when we actually
Right.
get together, when we get together and make those true connections and activate each other, it is detrimental to the dark.
Oh yeah.
Forget about any of the speakers and any of the information. Like if you just feel compelled to come, you don't know why, it's because that's why. Like you are literally going to be activated and we are
Mhm.
freaking turning each other on.
Powerful. It's
Yeah,
powerful.
and we're gonna have just a wave of light. It's gonna be a ripple effect that affects the entire planet every time we get together like that. So
Mhm.
that's why we do these. The
Yes.
information is available every single week on the podcast. It's about getting together in person. So
Yes.
careful in crowds
Well said.
though. Yeah, always be careful in crowds.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, so good night, everybody. This was a lot of fun. Thank you for being here. We can't do this without you. And don't forget, if you are interested in our Illuminati in the music industry webinar, that's going to be Sunday, April 28th, 5 p.m. Central Time, I believe. And it's only $5 to sign up. That link is below in the description also. Or you can find everything we do on our new website, journeytotruth.online. And we have a newsletter now. So sign up for that and you can stay up to date on everything we do. Good Good night, everybody. We love you. And until next time, have a great
Love
evening.
you
But
guys.
Much love.
I'm
Love you
not
all.
actually on the screen to cancel the live yet, so we're just gonna hang out for a second until I fumble around.
So you got the website up. That's awesome.
Yeah, the website is up.
Yeah. Yeah, we have a new website.
I have to go look.
You should.
Thanks
It's
for telling
awesome.
me.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, check it out.
I'm
We
gonna
have a
sign up for your newsletter too. I expect
Yes.
my newsletter, man.
right. Sign up for the
Oh my
newsletter. Yeah,
Damn it.
go for it. Okay. Good night, everybody. We love you. Until next time, have a great evening.
Good night, guys.
Bye.